voice you trust, the show you trust. That's Middays with Marks on 97.5 The Fanatic. Good morning, everybody. What up? As we do have a Victory Monday, and that's the most important thing to remember. We're not... I got to turn my mic. How's that? Is that better? Or is that worse? That's better right there? Can I go... Good morning, everybody. Welcome. What up to Middays with Marks on 97.5 The Fanatic. We are not losers anymore. I think Jalen Hurts said that after the game. We're not effing losers anymore. Great win. Even if it's just to get a win, it is a win. Good morning to everybody watching out there on YouTube. Remember, subscribe to 97.5 The Fanatic on YouTube. Get involved in the live chat. We're building a community of chatters. And Ray Dunn is going to hang out with you guys one day. We're going to have a day where Ray Dunn goes out with all the chatters. Maybe I'll be there too. But anyway, so appreciate you watching on YouTube. Appreciate you listening on 97.5, or if you're listening on the app or wherever you're listening, good morning. Even if it's just to get a win, it's a great win, and we'll dissect everything about it. But you got the performance from the quarterback, and that's why you should feel as good as I do today, because Jalen Hurts was fantastic yesterday. And it wasn't just the end box score, 19 to 23, 326 yards, 3 touchdowns. He was confident all game, made confident throws all game, and he was making off-schedule plays. This just wasn't, and this is something we'll talk about in a little bit too, but this wasn't one of these games where you're like, oh, yeah, great game plan. Oh, absolutely. They came out, this was a really sharp game plan. This was really sharp play calling. No, this was Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith being on the same page and looking like the three amigos. Saquon Barkley aside, because the running game continues to be a struggle. If you have Jalen Hurts and you have Devontae Smith and you have A.J. Brown that are on the same page, communicating well, both on and off the field, the Eagles are going to win a lot of games this season. We forget at how talented this team can be when you have two top-of-the-line wide receivers, because when they're able to run the ball and set up the tush-push and methodically go down the field, as we saw a lot last year, you don't need to have this high-powered offense. Yesterday, they made big plays. And Devontae, career-high 183 yards. A.J. with more than two big plays, but 2 touchdowns. The 3rd and 9, which I thought, if you want to give Kevin Patullo some credit, 3rd and 9 with under 2 minutes to go, and it's so there was. Let me see, I have it here. It's 28-22, 3rd and 9. Ball at the Eagles 44. The Vikings sent extra pressure. A.J. Brown had single coverage, and he saw it, and Jalen saw it, and he threw it up to him. It was actually underthrown. The ball was underthrown, but they were on the same page. Great play, and that was the game right there. That was the game. And by the way, the Isaiah Rodgers revenge game. Not so much. He got beat on that play. He got beat on a bunch of plays yesterday. And that's the brand of football that you want to see the Eagles do. You want to see them go out there where they can throw the ball all over the place, and they can do it efficiently, and you have A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith making big plays. That's how the Eagles need to try to start winning games right now. Running the ball with Saquon Barkley is not going to happen, at least in the short term. Perhaps for the entire season. I know that I had predicted before the season started that he was going to go under in rushing yards. And I don't have it in front of me because, Ray, I still can't get this computer to work. Well, actually, it's up right now. But you know what the over-under for rushing yards was for Saquon this year?
1,500?
Yep. And even if he went under and he just missed it, that's still 500 yards less than he had last year. But it's still 1,500 yards. He's going nowhere near that this year. But so the Eagles need to make up for that in other places. So this idea that you're going to play good defense, you're going to run the football, you're going to control the clock, you can't lean on that this year. Cam Jurgens went out of the game yesterday with an injury, a knee injury, didn't return. He missed 3 quarters. So it might actually get worse, the offensive line play. But you know what you can do? You can throw the ball around, and that's what Jalen did yesterday. 19-23, 3 touchdowns, 326 yards. So this was a great win. But it doesn't mean that they still don't need to continue to improve with the play calling, with what they're doing on offense. Because what I saw yesterday was a lot of, all right, that play didn't necessarily work. Let me throw it hey, AJ, go ahead. Great communication. But this wasn't one of these great play calling, Kevin Patullo, Nick Sirianni. Man, they looked really good. They looked good. The play calling was crisp. It made a lot of sense. Outside of the first drive, 12 plays, 75 yards. Man, it was good, too. Right down the field. They end up having a 4th and 4. Great play call on 4th and 4. Great job to go for it and not try to kick a 50-some-yard field goal. Boom, they go for it, and they get the A.J. Brown touchdown. Nice throw by Jalen Hurts. On the next 3 drives, they went 3 and out, and they had 8 total yards. And then they ended the half with a 4-play, 19-yard drive where they were trying to get in field goal range, and they had a sack, and then they kind of just gave up after that. So, great opening drive. If it wasn't for a Carson Wentz pick 6, they score 7 points in the first half. So, it's going to be masked today that the Eagles won the game, and I'm grateful for the win. Don't get me wrong. We still didn't have a good half. We still had a half where they scored 1 offensive touchdown, and they had a great drive to start the game, and then the next 3 drives, they had 8 total yards. So everything's not fixed. Hopefully we're getting there. You have the Giants. You have the bye week. Got to get to the bye week. Get guys a little bit healthier. Figure out on offense, all right, we're not able to lean on the running game. It doesn't look like it all. What are we going to do? Because guess what? Teams will adjust to what the Eagles are doing well. If you don't think the Giants are going to come out with a game plan based on what the Eagles did last week or yesterday against the Vikings, of course they are. They're going to say Saquon can't run the ball. Their offensive line is not good at and I can't even say Saquon's lost a step. He's getting hit in the backfield almost every time. That one play, it should have been a tackle for a loss. He spins out of it and he's able to get a short gain. So he's getting hit early. This is coaching. This is where coaching needs to say, okay, how do we get Saquon the ball? How do we get him in a little bit of space so he can hit those home runs? That is not the Eagles' offense this season. It's not. But Jalen Hurts, confident throws all game. And we can start here. And Ray, I want your opinion on this. I'm always happy when the Eagles get a win because guess what? They're 5-2, and their schedule to start the season has been the toughest. One of the toughest, if not the toughest, in the NFL. So we also have to keep that in mind. But it's certain to me, it doesn't feel like the problems are fixed, and the problems are. I don't have confidence in Kevin Patullo and Nick Sirianni to run this Eagles offense. What do you think?
Well, yeah, it's one game. I think you're not giving them enough credit, I think, for what they did in that second half. My biggest problem with them has been, after that first half, they have been beaten up almost every single game outside of, again, the Rams, where I felt similar to what I think you feel like today, where it was just like, screw it, we're just going to throw the football. If it hurts, you do your thing, and we'll figure it out. I feel like they have not been able to make adjustments into the second half. I understand Devontae Smith was the one that says they gave him the credit for advocating for that play. They still called that play for the 79-yard touchdown at the perfect time.
Yeah.
They also set that up earlier in the game by going under center and running the football and then playing off the play action to allow that to set up. That's something I think even if the coaches stumbled into that one, that's coaching that still paid off for you because you set something up earlier in the game that paid off later in the game. That to me is an example of something that worked out for the coaching staff.
Apparently, Devontae was lobbying for the play action and the deep ball. So much so after the game that the offensive line was saying, yeah, Devontae was really lobbying.
My lot has said it, like that was something that he wanted, and that's great. Hey, it worked out for them. It's something that they set up earlier, and even if they have no idea what they're doing, if they are totally clueless and just ran the football early on and stumbled into setting that up perfectly later on in the game, guess what? Now you learned how to coach. Now you learned that this week you learned what you need to do as a coach. I don't think that they became Einstein in the second half. But I do think there's a credit to be had where one of my biggest concerns with this team was every time they showed up in the second half, I felt like they got outdone by the defensive coaching on the other side. Brian Flores, that matchup, I thought that was probably one of the biggest mismatches of brain power when it came to the Eagles' offensive brain trust versus the Vikings' defensive brain trust. And yet that second half, they did enough to get themselves the victory.
They did. So, that was the second best game by any quarterback against Brian Flores and the Vikings in 3 years. Second best game according to one of the metrics or whatever. So, and they had the second best passing defense coming into the game, too. So that was not exactly how you would have thought they would draw it up, which is let's take advantage of the Vikings passing defense.
Right. And they did it.
And they did, man. And they beat Rodgers on multiple occasions, too, yesterday.
And personally, what I'm just thrilled with today is the sickos out there that in the back of their head were really rooting for Carson Wentz to go off against the Eagles and for Hurts to struggle again. I'm happy those people are a little annoyed today. I'm very happy those people are upset today. There's a certain caller I was thinking of as Hurts diced up that defense that I just can't wait. Can't wait to see what we hear from today, whether we hear from that caller.
Mad Mike?
I'm just saying, there was just a caller. I don't know who specifically.
I had emailers complaining about bringing Mad Mike on and his shtick and his nonsense. But anybody that was, and I'm one of them, that was kind of down on Jalen Hurts and how he's performed this season, and as far as what the problems with the Eagles' offense are, I mean, he absolutely showed up. And numbers aside, he was confident all day long, game long. I don't know why, but he was decisive. He saw the field very well. He made throws that he should have made, and we've seen him either A, not pull the trigger on them in previous weeks, or B, get too much air under them, or just miss them, flat out miss them. They had opportunities yesterday where the ball needed to be delivered, and Jalen did it. And that I saw a confident quarterback yesterday, and that's great. 610-632-0975. That's the phone number and the text line, 610-632-0975. Your reaction, and does this quiet the noise around the team and the quarterback and the offense and the play caller? First half, they still can't put two halves together. Thank God for Carson Wentz and some interceptions, and thank God for red zone field goals. What modern NFL team kicks 5 field goals in a game? I was shocked that they kept kicking these field goals. I mean, the 59-yarder was because there was the fumble and they lost 25 yards on that. But give the Eagles defense credit, but also thank God. Otherwise, you may have lost this game. But it's a good one. The Vikings are, even with Carson Wentz, the Vikings are still a good team. It was on the road. That's a home field advantage. And the Eagles went up there and they got a win. 610-632-0975. Your text, your phone calls. Jordan Mailata spoke about the swagger that Hurts plays with when he's confident after the game. We have that, and your reaction is Middays with Marks, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Unfiltered with Ricky Bo, Bill Colarulo.
Number with you for free. Keep your team in sync and your customers happy with Quo. Quo. No missed calls, no missed customers. Try Quo for free at quo.com/sports and get 20% off your first 6 months. That's quo.com/sports. QUO.com/sports.
Bet365 is paying out before the final whistle.
Check out Bet365's unrivaled early payout offer. When you bet on a team to win and they take a 17-point lead, you get paid no matter the final score. Forget the final whistle and start counting that cash. Hold up. You get early payout on parlays, too.
Download the app and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Pennsylvania. TNC Supply.
You ever walk out of the bedroom and feel like you just hit the game-winning shot? That's what Blue Chew's chewable tablets do. They don't just help, they upgrade you, like they've done for me. It's Big Mike the Boner here. Blue Chew is the original brand bringing chewables to the bedroom. It's like someone whispered, "Hey, champ, it's your time." Be ready when she is. Get your first month free with promo code Big Mike. All one word at BlueChew.com. Just cover $5 shipping. Make her group chat legendary. Chew it and do it.
Do you know what employees say is their number one perk at work? Extra PTO? Nope. Gym memberships? Guess again. It's free lunch. And what's the best way to order food for work? Easy Cater, a food tool built for the modern workplace. With online ordering from a huge variety of restaurants for any group size, tools to meet dietary needs and stay on budget, employee meal programs, and more, all on one platform. So perk up your workplace with Easy Cater. Order now at easycater.com.
Hey, can you blow up some balloons for Jack's party?
I can't. I'm so congested.
You need Sinex Severe from Vicks.
Sinex Severe Nasal Spray.
Yeah, just Sinex. Breathe.
Sinex Severe instantly relieves nasal congestion and works 6 times faster than nasal decongestant tablets. The 12 hours of relief allow you to get back to the moments that matter without congestion.
Daddy, we need more balloons.
On it! Try Sinex Severe from Vicks. Just Sinex. Breathe. Use as directed.
This is Philadelphia's station for breaking sports news. Powered by Lundy Law, your injury lawyers. Visit LundyLaw.com.
That's LundyLaw.com.
97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Middays with Marks, with John Marks and Ray Dunn.
97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
My favorite play was that 4-minute bomb to AJ. I turned around and he's locked in. I dialed in.
Yeah, Jordan Mailata after the game talking about Jalen Hurts. So what is it? We're back Middays with Marks. Ray Dunn, John Marks, and you. What is it that gets them to that spot? I saw smiles yesterday. This team sometimes, even when they're winning, and Tim McManus talked about this on Friday, where he felt like that as the week went on, it was a little bit looser. But even when they were winning, and this happened in 2023, they were winning games, but everybody seemed pretty miserable and things were so tight. But yesterday seemed different. Is it just that they got going early and they scored that first touchdown? But do you agree, Ray, that Jalen just seemed – AJ's not a big smiler, but everybody just seemed a little bit looser yesterday. Jalen seemed a little bit looser yesterday.
Oh, certainly. I mean, he's going through he knows in the hallway that he's going to be filmed. He is keenly aware of the fact that on his way to the locker room, what he says is going to get out there. He's not dumb in that regard. When he's yelling that we're not bleeping losers, he knows that's the message he's trying to send. He's coming up there, dapping up Dallas Goedert, all showing excitement. He smiled multiple times throughout the game. That's not the Jalen Hurts of every week.
The blocked field goal win, he's walking off of the field like they just lost.
Yeah, like, what'd I do to win this game? I think there was a little bit of that element to him, where it's also like, hey, man, I won this bleeping game.
So does he play too much into this Jordan, Kobe type thing where – because he's a big-time Kobe, Jordan type personality, probably has studied, now has a relationship with Jordan because of Nike. Does he play too much into it where he's trying to come off as this hard-ass – we won the game, but I'm not going to be celebrated or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, because it didn't seem like the hard ass Jalen Hurts yesterday. It did seem genuinely, I'm happy. Thank God we got to win, Jalen.
Yeah, and I think that might play into the fact that you could be upset with the results you got through the first 4 weeks before you're not playing your best, but you lose back-to-back games and you remember just what losing feels like. Like, they had not felt that way since Tampa. Probably. Like, it had been over a year. It's hard to imagine in the NFL you forget what losing feels like, but very difficult to be in a locker room where you've not lost back-to-back games since 2023 and, like, know exactly what it feels like. Like, I almost think that the mini bye that they had, and I love that phrasing, the cliche we fall into.
You had to marinate over those 2 losses.
Right. And it's one of those things that maybe we look back at that mini bye. If things really turn the tide here and start going the right way for the rest of the season, we look back at that mini bye. It's similar to the way we look at the bye last year.
Yeah, that was it changed the season. It's where everybody sat down. If you remember, the offensive leaders said we need to run the ball more because they were throwing the ball a lot,
right,
in the first 4 weeks, and they said we need to lean on the run. We need to lean on Saquon, and they went to Kellen Moore, and everybody said, all right, and then the rest is history. They were as dominant of a season as we've ever seen in this city, and may ever seen. We had our film guy Kevin Foley on last week where he said that it was a once-in-a-lifetime thing. The Eagles' offensive line, Saquon Barkley, everything that went on the offense and the defense was a once-in-a-lifetime thing. It might be. It might be because the win last year in the Super Bowl was much different than 2017, 2018 when the Super Bowl happened, right? That was Nick Foles, Philly, backup quarterback, Carson Wentz. That was just magic. I don't know if that can happen anywhere else or like the first Super Bowl for a notorious city like Philadelphia and the fan base of the Eagles. That's the only way you're going to win your first Super Bowl is like that. It's like magic. This wasn't magic. The Eagles were dominant. They dominated the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. So now you're coming off of that, and what you did last year to dominate the NFL is not working. You lost a couple guys on defense, and the guys that are the replacements aren't as good, and now you're having injuries. The offensive line is completely banged up. See, for me, the biggest issue right now is the health because Cam Jurgens didn't play 3/4 of the game, and Toth was in there. So if Brett Toth is your starting center, that's trouble for an entire game. I saw a lot of people were happy. They were under center quite a bit yesterday with Jalen Hurts. You know when they started doing that? When Toth came in and had to be the center. I don't think he can snap it.
I don't think he can either.
I mean, which is a problem. You can't line Jalen Hurts up at under center the whole game. So if you have a center in there and can't snap the ball, that's a problem. So we're not going to worry about as much of that today. We'll talk about some of the injuries. But, like, it is Jalen Hurts, more than anything, and he played great. He enjoyed the win yesterday. And sometimes you have to enjoy the wins in life, right? Like, enjoy it. Now let's go because you have the Giants coming in here who, what a unbelievable game they were in yesterday. And we'll talk about that later on in the show. But they're coming off of a loss, and they're the same team that kicked your ass. Kicked your ass. Now it's at home. So if this is a team that is legit and we should feel good going into the bye week, even if we're limping into the bye week, guess what? You go out there and you stick your not even your foot on their throat. You go out there and you just beat them because they're not a team that's going to win this year. They have a bunch of rookies, and they kicked your ass. You talk about revenge coming up on Sunday. This is revenge. They kicked your ass last time. So you feel better after yesterday's win? Yeah, of course you feel better. The quarterback played great. The passing game was good. The wide receivers were awesome. But that's one game, man. 610-632-0975. We'll check the text board coming up. 610-632-0975. We talked about some injuries, but also, is Brandon Graham coming back? That was the big story that dropped yesterday morning. Brandon Graham, is he coming back? I would say yes. We'll discuss that coming up next. Middays with Marks, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
Eagles beat the Vikings. I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update. Eagles won the game 28-22 out there in Minnesota over the Vikings, improving to 5-2 on the season. Jalen Hurts had his best game to date this year. 326 yards through the air, 3 touchdowns. Devontae Smith, a career day, 9 catches, 183 yards and a touchdown. A.J. Brown, a pair of touchdowns as well. Carson Wentz, 2 interceptions, including a pick 6 to Jalen Hunt. Jalen Hurts after the game talking about being back to their winning ways.
We're not losers anymore. Because that's all I could think about. That's all I could think about throughout these last 2 weeks. Having opportunities to finish the game, to finish the fourth quarter. I really think this is the first time we've finished the fourth quarter, and it finished in the second half.
5-2 with the Giants up next as the Birds try to bounce back from the loss to the Giants just a week ago. Flyers won over the weekend, 2-1 over the Wild. Host the Kraken tonight at 7 o'clock. We'll have the game live for you right here on The Fanatic. This update's brought to you by Unbound.org. A girl in Kenya dreams of becoming a doctor. An elder in Guatemala dreams of being part of a community. Reach out and change their world. It will change your own. Unbound.org. I'm Ray Dunn on your home for the Sixers, Flyers, and Union. 97.5 The Fanatic, 97.5thefanatic.com.
We're back. Middays with Marks, 97.5, The Fanatic. Feedback is a segment that we do at the end of the show. It's very simple. Email 975feedback at 975thefanatic.com. Anything that we're talking about during the show, whether it's sports, not sports, whatever, any type of feedback, you want to rip me or rip Ray or something like that, that's what it's there for. 975feedback at 975thefanatic.com. Last segment of the show, we get to them. Also, the text line, which is the same as the phone number, 610-632-0975. You can text just for right now, or if you want to be involved in feedback, you can also do that. And we do have some text assists from Ray before we talk about Brandon Graham. What do you got?
Listen, the Eagles aren't going to dominate every team every week for 60 minutes. I think we're spoiled in how dominant we were last year. I'd rather them be good in the second half than the first half and win games. Yes, we want them to be good the whole game, but this year's team is not as good as last year's team. It's not as much what we want it to be, but we're still the Eagles. We're still good enough to win the Super Bowl this year if we get everything clicking.
Okay. That's a really good text, because this is not the same team. They're not going to be able to run the ball like they did. The offensive line is banged up. Cam Jurgens missed the final three quarters of the game. That's not good, with a knee injury. We'll wait the update on that today. So another injury, Aziz Olajere left yesterday's game with a hamstring injury, and he did not return. We know Zadarius Smith retired last week. So their edge rushers, which Jalen Hunt had an interception yesterday, which was a great play. But so you have Hunt, you have Patrick Robinson, you have Uche. He had a sack yesterday. He looked good, and that's it. So at this point, out of desperation, they need Brandon Graham to come back. So the story dropped yesterday. Brandon Graham seriously considering coming out of retirement for the Eagles as they have a desperate need, and Brandon is ready to go. I don't have any inside information, and Andrew DeCecco's coming up here, our Eagles insider, in about 20 minutes, 10:55. We'll discuss this with him. Just knowing Brandon and having worked with him for a really long time, I remember the first time that everybody kind of thought he should retire. He felt everybody thinks I should retire, or he did not want to retire. So last year, and I'm sure of this, if the Eagles didn't win the Super Bowl, I don't believe he retires. If you remember beginning of the season last year, Brandon Graham was really good. He was a big part of their pass rush, situational pass rush, and he's good at getting to the quarterback. He's good at getting penetration and making plays, tackles for losses in the backfield. He's got a high motor. He's out there yap, 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 yap. Great leadership. So the sense I always got from Brandon was that he felt like last year after winning the Super Bowl, and he was injured, he was able to come back. Like, that's the magical, I'm walking away, I won the Super Bowl. Now I can get into post-playing stuff, and he's gotten involved in a lot of businesses. He's got his tea and everything else. I don't think he was done playing football. I never believed that at all. And when they won the Super Bowl, to me, that's when he felt like, well, the decision was made. I got injured. I came back. We won a second Super Bowl. Brandon Graham won 2 Super Bowls with this team. 2 Super Bowls. Think about that. He is Mr. Eagle. That 55 is never going to be worn again by anybody. That number will be retired. He is Mr. Eagle. Brian Dawkins was a better player because he's a Hall of Famer, and he was a great player. Brandon Graham is Mr. Eagle. Brandon Graham's Mr. Eagle. He's never leaving. He's going to be here doing commercials and businesses and everything else that he's doing. He's got his podcast right now, which is very good. I don't think he has football out of him. So as much as Ray, I would like Brandon I'd like to remember him as, all right, he won the Super Bowl. He went out on top. Not very few players can say that. I have to support whatever he wants to do. This team needs him. And by the way, if I thought that he was cooked, I wouldn't want him to come out of retirement. I don't think he's cooked. I think he's got productive football left in him. And quite frankly, I could use a little 55 running around right now on the Eagles defense. You agree?
I'd love to remember him as sitting up there at the podium with the 2 Lombardis. He didn't just tear his tricep once last year.
I know.
Tore it twice. He might have football still in mind, but does he have football still in terms of his body being able to give what is needed of him to go the rest of this season and into hopefully a postseason run? I understand why he's back. listen, if you look at that entire market out there of guys that are available for you in the edge rusher, what makes more sense than to bring back Brandon Graham, someone who's here, who who honestly, when you look at that locker room, the way we were talking about that team leading up to Sunday, it wouldn't hurt to have a Brandon Graham in there. And I'm really just hoping it was like the familiarity here with Brandon Graham's the reason he's back, and it's not like, oh, BG, we need you to come in, and before we get you up to speed on what Fangio has wrinkles-wise defensively, we need you to go into that meeting room and go talk to a few people about what's going on inside here. I'm really hoping it's just we need the edge rusher and not like, oh, we need an edge rusher, and we could use that type of guy in here again.
Right.
So I get it. I get why he's back. There's a part of me that is like, hey, man, I'm enjoying seeing you every third commercial locally.
I am too.
I'm enjoying the fact that you're enjoying post-playing career. It ended so beautifully. Why rewrite that movie script where there's a different ending?
Because he still had it in him. He still had it in him, and it took this particular situation to get him back. Here's my question: who made the first call? Was this Brandon ran into him down at NovaCare? Oh, hey, Howie, how you doing? Right? Was this something that was always a possibility? See, I think this was something that was always a possibility. They needed to go to the bullpen because they were thin at defensive end, edge rusher. They were thin. If they needed to go to the bullpen, I think Brandon was keeping himself in shape just enough. So now, bye week after the Giants, he makes his Eagles return the following after the bye week against the Green Bay Packers. That gives him 2 weeks. So right now, if he knows he's going, he's got all this week, he's got all night, bam, against the Packers. And I got to smile about it. I got to say, you know what? If this is what he wants, the team needs him. Because, I mean, all right, let's do worst case scenario. The season falls apart like 2023. Everybody's fighting, and they don't make the playoffs, so they make the playoffs and they win a game. Are you going to remember Brandon Graham for that? Are you going to remember Brandon Graham for 2 Lombardis and sitting up there on the podium and being the best guy, Mr. Eagle, best guy ever?
The last time I saw 62 in an Eagles jersey, he was crying next to Stoutland in Tampa as they got smoked.
Well, that's true.
I love Jason Kelce. I remember him for a lot of wonderful things, but the last time I saw him walk off a field in an Eagles uniform.
But that's not the image that stays with you from Jason Kelce. Stop.
But it's a part of what I like. Part of the pain of 2023 was I watched one of the legends of the Eagles organization have his ending be that. They did the entire documentary to send him off a Super Bowl champion. He came back for another year, and that was the last. Like part of the pain of 2023 is knowing you failed that legend. You failed Fletcher Cox.
But he's still got a Super Bowl.
Yeah, he's still got a Super Bowl.
He's still got, but that's like I think of Jason Kelce more of that documentary where I was ripping. You know, I was ripping him in the documentary for taking so long to
make his
decide.
decision.
Yeah, I mean, because it was, you know, he likes the attention. So at the same time that he's deciding whether he's coming back or not, and I'm saying this is the biggest BS ever. He's coming back. Like, stop it, Jason. Stop making us wait. And then they played in the documentary when he's literally crying with his hand in his head in his hand and his like elbow in his knee because he can't decide, like, oh, my kids and I'm injured and all these things are true. But like, yeah, so that I look like the total a-hole that says, but you know what? Like, I'm glad he came back. It sucks that it didn't end the way he wanted it to. Let's be honest. The odds are against the Eagles winning a Super Bowl this year and Brandon Graham going out with 3 Lombardis. But, like, I know this. Every ex-player that I've talked to, for the most part, like, they don't get to decide when their career is over. That's decided for them. I worked with Ike. Ike, he had chances to go and try to earn a job with the team and with no guarantees. Could have gotten cut. Like, it's like, here you go. Here's more or less a tryout. We'll give you a chance to make the team. He said, nah, I'm good. Like, I've done enough football. I'm not going out and doing that. These guys have to get their bodies ready for another training camp. BG's got to get his body ready to just come in and finish the season. So if he's the one that's making the call, and I believe all along this was part of the plan, and he was always acting very coy when asked, like, BG, there's injuries, they might need you. And he was always like, nah, Howie, don't call me. Howie, don't call me. He couldn't wait for this to happen to come back. And I'm embracing it. And I love it.
And I just hope it goes well.
Me too.
I'm skeptical.
Well, sure, you should be.
That's really what it comes down to. I'm just skeptical of how this works out. He tore his triceps not once, twice last year.
I know.
And he's been podcasting for the last 3 months.
What could possibly go wrong?
That's the thing. I want what's best for Brandon Graham. It's a testament to what I think about him, the person, and the Eagle.
Thank you, 97.5.
I mean, we may have in 97.5 turned his career around. Because
Potentially.
The investigative reporter, Johnny Marks, had found out that everybody in the Delaware Valley was blocked by Brandon. And that helped turn his career around.
Has he thanked you for that?
Yeah, he did.
Thank you, 97.5.
We've had many conversations about it. He came in studio. He's sitting right there. He came in studio, and he literally was like, yep, here's what happened. I got tired of seeing all the junk that was out there, so I started blocking everybody. And then he unblocked them. 610-632-0975. Did the Eagles turn a corner offensively on the coaching side? Well, ask Nick Sirianni. You know what he's going to say? Yup. We'll play it and discuss it.
Hell yeah.
Coming up next, it is Middays with Marks, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Philadelphia is a sports city.
Yeah, obviously it adjusted as the game went. I think the offensive coaches did a phenomenal job of making adjustments at halftime, and throughout the game. They saw something on the big post to Smitty, and Smitty went out and Jalen went out, made a big time throw, big time catch, and so Jalen has a knack for throwing those deep balls, and our guys can run and get under them. So they saw something where the middle of the field was open. A lot of respect for that coordinator. Coach Flores is a phenomenal coordinator. He had us up all night. Those offensive coaches were sleeping in the building. They're late all night because of the problems and the issues that they create.
All right, that's Nick Sirianni. Yap, yap, yap.
So much good.
Hey, sure, they won the game. All right, I'm not the type to come out and be critical of wins. They won the game. They also, after the opening drive, had 8 yards or the next 3 drives, and then they had 19 yards before they got sacked and couldn't get any more points before halftime. You don't have the Carson Wentz pick six. You score 1 touchdown, and you have 7 points at the half. And give them credit. They came out, and they killed it in the second half. Was that great play calling and coaching, or is that players playing and making plays? Yeah, probably a combination, but if Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith can play like that every game, then the Eagles are going to win another Super Bowl. But it's just that, I still don't leave the game thinking, oh, man, like Patullo, that was a really good game. Great play calling. And, I feel much better about it. And I feel about the same. This is still a good team. This is still a playoff team. They're 5-2. But you got one more before the bye, so let's get a win on Sunday against the Giants, which we'll have all week to talk about. And then you're 6-2 at the bye. And you know what? You sign up for 6-2 at the bye all the time. So if you're unhappy with the way the team has been playing and you're 6-2, I'd say that's a pretty good thing. All right, the text board, my personal text board's going off about Brandon Graham. My buddy Vince had said this. He said that the Brandon Graham injury, he tore his triceps twice because he came back early to play in the Super Bowl. Triceps is a freak injury. It's not something that, he's injury prone and he's going to get hurt every time he goes out there. But also, when you get into your late 30s, you're going to have more injuries than when you're 25, 26, 27. But yeah, I'm not worried about him being injured and being horrible and we're like, Brandon shouldn't have come back. I don't think that's him at all. I don't think that's what you're going to get at all there, Ray.
I mean, is he going to be more productive than the 0 you've gotten from most of the edge rusher room so far? Probably. He was solid last year. Again, this goes more to the person than to the player. I would just say you wrote the perfect ending to your story. You were the ultimate Eagle. I don't need you fighting for 25% of the snaps with Patrick Johnson to get that 1 sack that look, we got Brandon Graham back. And then, God forbid, something happens to him. I'm almost like the story was so great.
Well, you don't know. You're right, but you don't think he can play. But you don't think he can play.
I think he can be fine for you. I don't think, if we're talking about the big edge rusher problem, if this is all they do to address edge rusher, I don't think this is enough.
But you also have to be realistic. Everybody just says, Howie will go out on the trade market and trade for somebody. Well, okay, who? Giving a first-round draft pick away for somebody? We'll get Hendrickson from Cincinnati. Okay. That'd be great. I'd love it. But I think you have to be realistic.
Okay, and if realistic is a guy in his mid to late 30s that decided it was over, okay, then you're just not going to have enough at edge rusher the rest of the season. I don't think I'm scorching the house down here by saying bringing back Brandon Graham might not solve all your problems at edge rusher.
No, not at all. I agree. Without another move, I agree. Unless they tried to use Campbell yesterday at edge rusher. First game doing a lot of it. Didn't really work. He didn't look great out there. Yeah, they may have to figure it out internally. There's not a lot of guys walking the street that are going to walk in and give you production, even if it's 15 or 20% of the time. Brandon can actually give you production right now. What is the text line saying about all this?
We have pretty much lining up with that. Rich in Harrisburg saying, love to see BG back. He's an all-timer. The Eagles need help at edge rusher beyond just BG, though I love the fact that he'll be an Eagle again.
Okay. Agreed. It's not going to – this defense isn't now. Stop. You know what can help? What Jalen Carter did yesterday on that pick six. Do you see the play? I watched the replay a couple times. They didn't blitz, but they sent an extra guy, and then they dropped Jalix Hunt into coverage. But Jalen Carter ran past his guy, ran right past I guess it was the center or the other guard that was he was the guy that was supposed to come over, and he ran right in between them, and Wentz had to get rid of it almost immediately, and he shouldn't have thrown the ball, but otherwise you're taking a sack. And he didn't see Hunt, who had dropped back from his edge rusher position right to him, former college safety, and he took it back. Great play. Good, really, really good little wrinkle from Vic Fangio to do that, because that's what you're trying to do is you're trying to pressure Wentz and you're trying to confuse Wentz. And on that play, you did both of them. So if Jalen Carter can get back to that type of a player where pretty much every snap they're having to double team him, that's how these other guys are going to get pressure, including BG. All right, any more Texases?
Yes, we do. We got text on the other side of the football. Norm from Nate Fair, this offensive line getting banged up is worrisome. Defense is putting 8 guys in the box, and Barkley's getting frustrated. Yesterday, Hurts was able to do it with huge pass plays. The last debacle against the Giants, Jackson Dart didn't get to meet Jalen Carter. He will next week, so I feel fine about that one.
All right, coming up, Andrew DeCecco, as Cam Jurgens, he was out, missed the final 3 quarters of the game. If he can't go, what does this offensive line look like? Ojulari, hamstring, he left the game. That was when you had 4 edge rushers. You just lost one of them. That's a hamstring. A Dory Jackson concussion, a lot of injuries. We'll talk to DeCecco about that. His thoughts, does he think that the play calling actually was much better yesterday? Andrew DeCecco, our Eagles Insiders, coming up next. Don't go anywhere. Middays the Marks.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
Back in the win column, I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update. The Eagles beat the Vikings 28-22 yesterday, bouncing back from back-to-back losses. Jalen Hurts, 326 through the air, 3 touchdowns, 2 of them going to A.J. Brown. Devontae Smith with a career day, 9 catches, 183 yards, and a touchdown. Carson Wentz on the other side, a pair of interceptions, including a pick 6 to Jalen Hunt. Jalen Hurts after the game talking about getting back to the winning ways.
We're not losers anymore, because that's all I could think about. That's all I could think about throughout these last 2 weeks. Having opportunities to finish the game, to finish the fourth quarter. I really think this is the first time we've finished the fourth quarter and finished in the second half.
5-2 now. The Giants up next. The Birds look to get revenge for the Thursday night debacle just 10 days ago. Flyers won over the weekend, 2-1 over the Wild. Host the Kraken tonight at 7 o'clock. We'll have the live call, that one for you right here on The Fanatic. This update is brought to you by Mercedes-Benz. Looking for an exceptional driving experience? Experience the power, precision, and intelligence of iconic Mercedes-Benz SUV at your local Mercedes-Benz dealer today. I'm Ray Dunn, your home for the Sixers, Flyers, and Union. 97.5 The Fanatic, 97.5thefanatic.com.
That's right. 97.5 The Fanatic, WPEN, WPEN AC1 Burlington, Philadelphia, a Beasley Media Group station broadcasting live from the Comcast Business Studio, powering possibilities. As the Eagles win, impressive win, or not impressive win? I say impressive win. Offense broke out. Jalen looked as confident as I've seen him since when? The Super Bowl? Looked great yesterday. AJ, Devontae, the three amigos. Is everybody on the same page? Great communication. To discuss is our Eagles insider, and he joins us on the Comcast Business Hotline. His name is Andrew DeCecco. Andrew, good morning. Andrew, hello.
John, how are you doing, man? Thanks for having me.
Good. How are you, bud?
Doing well. A lot to get into.
All right. So how do you feel? What's the takeaway from yesterday?
I thought that was a really quality win. I really do. And especially as it pertains to Jalen Hurts, who elevated the offense. He was making plays outside of structure. Not many quarterbacks are able to do what he's able to do, especially with what the Vikings were throwing at the Eagles. From a pressure standpoint, Nick Sirianni, after the game, talked about the offensive coaches sort of getting together and identifying things that were open and available. And you collaborate with players like Devontae, and they're able to coordinate an effective game plan in the second half. And I think that Jalen Hurts executed it perfectly. And that's really the game that you were hoping to see from Jalen coming off the Giants game when the running game wasn't doing anything. It was QB1 who was able to elevate and maximize what the Vikings were trying to do to stop them.
Do you buy what Nick Sirianni's selling you? That they went in at halftime and they were like, oh, look at all these adjustments we can make. Do you think that's what actually happened, or is this just Jalen Hurts and AJ and Devontae making plays?
Yeah, I don't buy that there's this grandiose halftime adjustment. There's not enough time in the period to be able to enact some of those changes. I think a lot of it has to do with player feedback, and that's something that Kevin Patullo actually spoke about last week, about trying to find a way to strike a balance between ensuring that the player knows that his input is being listened to and, asking the why. Let's go back to the video. Let's see tangible proof that this is what you're seeing, and then going out there and implementing some of those changes. So they talk about that meeting on Monday that had a really productive conversation, and that they were going to look to build off of that and head things in the right direction. And I think that one of the talking points in that meeting had to do with just being able to be receptive to feedback based off of what players are seeing.
Yeah, they did it last year, right? After the bye week, everybody, the offensive linemen, I remember them talking about it. They went to Kellen Moore and said, we got to lean on us. We got to run the football a little bit. And that's good. That's good that they're listening, because guess what, Andrew? They should be. They should be listening to what the players are saying. Did you notice the reaction of Jalen? Because I go back to the hard-ass Jalen after they win the Rams game where they had the 2 blocked field goals, and you wouldn't know that based on his reaction. He kind of just walks off the field. Yesterday seemed a much looser Jalen when he was playing, and certainly after the game. Did you notice the same thing?
Yeah, he did. He was just comfortable, almost like, so this is what y'all wanted to see, huh, type of thing after the Pittsburgh game. Last season, he knows he's a confident guy, but he also knows that the offense has this in them, and the sense that I got, that calming sense, was that it stems from they were searching for answers during the week. They stuck together. There was no finger pointing. There was no assigning blame, and instead they looked to find solutions, and now they're starting to get the ball rolling offensively, and that's kind of why I think that he was as confident and sort of enjoying the win instead of just looking to turn the page and focus on what they weren't able to do. And that's really healthy. That's Nick Sirianni. He's been preaching to enjoy the wins and have fun out there, and it seemed like he was certainly doing that.
Saquon Barkley, they tried him early. They tried to get him going early, and ends up finishing 18 for 44. And a lot of the carries, he's getting hit pretty much right away. He had the one play where he was able to spin out of would have been a loss, and he got, I think, a 1-yard gain on it. But I'm almost at a point now, and we'll talk about injuries in a second, Andrew, that you guys still got to feed him the ball, because you can't be totally predictable with Jalen Hurts and throwing the ball all the time. But I guess I'm just resigned that I don't think it's going to work. They just have too many. They're just banged up on the offensive line, and they're not getting any type of push or anything like that. Where are you with Saquon Barkley in this offensive line? Are you still thinking later on in the season they can kind of lean on this?
Yeah, it's a great question, John. And you know that foundationally that's what they want to do. They want to play a bully ball style of offense. And when they're not able to do that, it leaves them one-dimensional, and teams aren't playing them quite as honestly as they did last season. So I also noticed that with Saquon Barkley, when holes aren't there, it seems to me like he's pressing a little bit, like he's getting frustrated. And that was pretty evident yesterday on a couple of different carries. Instead of taking what's available, he's trying to hit a home run on every carry to maximize that. But right now, I thought that you look at that first drive, he had 5 carries for 24 yards. They executed it well.
Yep.
Then, and you kind of hate to just pin it on one player, but Cam Jurgens left the game injured with the knee, and then when Brett Toth came in there at center, there wasn't quite the same push up front, and that's where you started to see the Minnesota Vikings get some penetration from the interior. And 18 for 44 is not going to cut it, but the Eagles have to continue to lean on the running game to force teams to play them honestly, and then eventually all it takes is one. They've talked ad nauseum, John, about how close they are. They're one block away, Jordan Mailata likes to say. So I think that they have to stay true to their roots and lean into it. But they made the right decision clearly late in that game, throwing the football up there to A.J. Brown and allowing your playmakers to do it instead of leaning on the running game, which frankly wasn't working.
Yeah, so let's talk about Cam Jurgens and some injuries here. He missed most of the game yesterday, and it was a knee injury. Any idea how severe it was? It was severe enough to where he didn't come back. But that's – I mean, I know – can Toth not snap the ball in the shotgun? Is that why they were actually lining up under center yesterday? What's the latest on Jurgens? And is Toth your starting center if he can't play?
Yeah, well, it's never a good sign when a player suffers a knee injury and then they're ruled out. So there'll be further testing today. But Cam Jurgens has been really banged up. I think a lot of folks forget that back in February he had off-season back surgery. So it takes time to round into form, and now we'll have to wait and see what happens with the knee. But Brett Toth was plugged in there at center. Anyone who's been to training camp practices can tell you that he's had some difficulty snapping out of the shotgun, which ended up playing into the Eagles' favor. They were under center 20 times in the game, and you saw the play action in that 79-yard touchdown to Devontae Smith. But, yeah, to answer your question, that, in my estimation, played a big part in it. And if depending on the severity or even if Cam Jurgens has to miss a week, it looks like it would be Brett Toth. That's the one thing here. Not the one thing, but when you look at the depth around this team, it's not quite as deep, John, as it used to be. And I look at the offensive line. That's why they went out there and they got someone like a Fred Johnson who does have starting experience. Matt Pryor is a guard and the tackle. They don't have a true backup center. And Brett Toth is kind of the do-it-all offensive lineman who's been there for a while. He's well-versed in Jeff Stoutland's ideologies and technique. But that kind of underscores the depth concerns around this roster. It's not just center. It's edge. It's cornerback too, so they have some decisions to make if Cam Jurgens is out for an extended period of time.
So Toth is the secret weapon because they have to snap it under center, and then they can do play action, and they can actually throw the ball and get some work off of play action.
There you go.
No, but seriously, like with Toth, if he has to start against the Giants, what do you think the defensive coordinator is going to do all game? Knowing that you have a backup center in there that doesn't like to snap the ball, right? So you're going to pressure up the middle. I mean, that's trouble. These injuries are real trouble right now. So Ojulari leaves with a hamstring injury, didn't come back. You're already thin at edge rusher as it is. Brandon Graham's now coming out of retirement. So what do you believe Brandon's coming back? What are you hearing around? And would you think that Brandon plays the week after the bye?
Yeah, John, I do think that this has got some real legs. I believe it's in play, and they were sort of flirting around with Brandon, engaging where he was at physically even before this happened. But I think it's of the utmost importance now, and now, especially after they won that game, they're sitting there 5-2, and now you have the opportunity to add someone like a Brandon Graham, who at 37 years old, there's still a lot of questions, right? You don't quite know what kind of football shape he's in, and you have no way of knowing until he gets on a football field. And he's not suddenly going to be able to play 25 or 30 snaps, but he's going to be an incredibly positive locker room influence. He's a good run defender, and he's savvy, so he knows how to win based off of experience and just his overall savviness, but I think that he can provide something, and it seems like it's trending in that direction.
Yeah.
So we'll see, but they still need to add another player via the trade deadline.
Yeah, which I'm sure we'll talk about coming up. Yeah, it's a good word, flirting, but it always felt like that door was open, and both sides certainly. I never thought Brandon wanted to retire. Winning this, if they don't win the Super Bowl, I think he's back this year. But the fact that he won the Super Bowl, and it's the perfect exit. Like, I won the Super Bowl. I have 2 Lombardis with the Eagles. There's not a better way to leave. But he wasn't done playing football. He was still really good before that injury last year.
Yeah, he was. In fact, the best game of the season was in the game where he tore his tricep in the Rams game. I was out there. He made tackles for loss. He was rushing Matthew Stafford. It looked like he channeled the fountain of youth, and it was a shame to see that happen and him suffer the triceps tear. But he definitely, I'm with you. He certainly has something left in the tank. It never felt, at least to me, that he was ready to retire, but he did go out on top. We'll see. It seems like it's trending in that direction, as I mentioned. And now you mentioned Ojulari suffering the hamstring injury. The numbers there are dwindling, and they can't really afford to keep putting Band-Aids over it even in the short term.
Adoree Jackson concussion. We don't know how he's going to react to that, or if he's going to be able to play coming up next weekend. Early look at the Giants, and we're talking to Andrew DeCecco, or Eagles Insider. Early look at the Giants. Is your knee-jerk reaction, all right, let's go, we're going to kick their ass and get revenge from last game, or, based on the injuries and everything else?
I think their immediate reaction has to be to clean up the untimely penalties. And
what's your reaction? What's your reaction?
My reaction is that they need to go out there, and they need to go out there and be able to shut down the running game. They don't have a ton of optionality in terms of skill players, but they have to be assignments down. They have to execute. They're head and shoulders, the better team, but they have to go out there and they have to play 4 quarters of football, John. That's something that has eluded them throughout the season thus far, and even a team like the Giants have proven that they can catch the Eagles. If the Eagles aren't on their A game, they can upend them. So I think they're going to carry that. A lot of the players that I've talked to, they haven't yet gotten that taste out of their mouth, and they're going to go out there looking to prove something.
Okay.
So this is going to be a big spot for them, and I think they're going to win in a big way.
So you have a lot of confidence, at least the day after on Monday. Okay. All right.
I do. Just based off the temperature check last week, the pulse of the locker room, and then how they performed against Minnesota, I do believe that they're going to go out there and make a statement against the Giants.
All right. We'll talk to you again this week, Andrew. Thank you.
Thank you.
There he is, Andrew DeCecco, our Eagles insider. Yeah, I mean, if you're putting the lie detector test on me, as far as confidence on Sunday,
Happy Victory Monday to you too.
No, just if I'm being honest, I can't get that fourth quarter out of my head. How that damn Scatabo, I hate him. He's running over everybody. Jackson Dart and his sneakers and everything else, or his cleats and everything else. It's like they kicked our ass. So I really hope that all week we're gonna get them, because they had a horrible loss yesterday.
Hilarious.
It was hilarious.
I felt bad. My mom's birthday. Mom's a Giants fan. For her to have to watch that meltdown, that I felt bad.
Happy birthday. So you were watching it with her, the meltdown?
No, we watched the Eagles game together. She had to drop my brother off train for a business trip, and then I went back to the city. So she had to watch that. My grandmother was also a Giants fan, so there was just a room full of disappointed people.
Real Giants fans watching the game?
Yes.
Angry?
I can imagine there were some things said by my mom.
Hey, my good friend, we call him the Schneid. We were texting yesterday in the group chat, and I had said, is this the signature drive where Jackson Dart gets a win? Now, they scored a touchdown, but the loser kicker misses the extra point, and it leaves it open for the Broncos to come back and get the
If Lawrence Tynes is on Twitter saying that you deserve to lose your job, you probably deserve to lose your job.
Why do they always have such crappy punters or kickers?
Just loser energy exerts.
Loser. All right, so what am I worried about with the Giants? They're a bunch of losers, right? 610-632-0975. Coming up in 2 segments, back or pack, we pivot to the Phillies. I'm angrier today after the Dodgers swept the Brewers than I've been before. This isn't sitting well with me. This Dave Dombrowski is not sitting well with me. That's coming up in 2 segments. Next segment, Jalen Hurts spoke after the game about wanting to establish the run. We have that. We'll play it for you. And Brandon Graham text coming up as well. It is Middays with Marks, 97.5 Fanatic.
The Fanatics, Andrew DiCecco, the Phillies.
in and establish the run. That's what we wanted to come in and do, and the game just flowed the way it did, and we were able to be efficient in the past game. KP was very timely, and I think we were able to doctor up some things on the sideline and work through some things, but those guys made big-time plays. I mean, Smitty had a hell of a day. Tough. Size ain't nothing to him, the way he plays. So it's good to see. It's good to see, and, you know, I think I said this on the field to Pam, but it ain't about, you know, identity is important. Don't get me wrong. That is very important to have an identity and be able to establish an identity. But for a long time now, we find ways to win games. We find ways to win games.
Well, maybe their identity is going to be big plays with Jalen Hurts and his star wide receivers. That's what it was yesterday. Interesting that he brought up that they came out looking to establish the run and run the ball, and they did on that opening drive. It was the most success that Saquon had all game. But then I guess they continued to try to do that afterwards because they went 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, 4 and out to end the half. And you can say, okay, well, they made adjustments at halftime. My 4-year-old would have said, hey, how about we stop running the ball in the second half? I'm not giving Kevin Patullo credit because they stopped running the ball as much in the second half. Sorry. But reality is that they got the win. Jalen looked as confident as I've seen him since the Super Bowl. And we're not effing losers anymore. As he said, we're not. By the way, Football Mondays sponsored by your local Bryant Home Comfort team. Visit nopaybryant.com to keep your HVAC in the starting lineup. We have some text reaction out there to the Brandon Graham and the other conversations.
Yes, we do. We got
done?
Kevin in Daytona Beach. BG coming back is a win-win. A vet on the field and a locker room guy. She don't want a puppy. She wants a big dog. Go Birds.
But your point, which is I also got on my text line, which is the best. They can't just bring him back. They need another. Well, and here's the other thing, which I think you have to be realistic about. Because Uncle Jamie's texting me, they need a corner, they need an offensive lineman, they need defensive lineman. I get it, but can you really solve all your problems by trading your draft picks to get? I mean, maybe they do it.
Oh, they're not gonna be able to solve everything.
So what do you solve? What's the if you have one trade you can make? What is it?
Probably the edge rusher.
I agree. Yeah, you're desperate at edge rusher. Your cornerback position is going to kind of be like this all year.
Yeah, and if
not
you're
going to be great with the number 2, but they're going to have to deal with it.
Yeah, and if you're at base, it's Cooper DeJean, and if you have to go 3 corners, there's a lot of teams when they have 3 corners on the field, you don't feel particularly great about all that. Like, that's just, unfortunately, I think the reality of it. Also, if you get pressure, I'm not worried about them getting beat deep because you're not going to be able to develop those plays consistently.
Nolan Smith's going to be back. I think he's eligible to be back this week. So even if he's not, then you have the bye week. He'll be back after the bye, so he'll help.
Yeah,
he could against the run too.
Yeah, he'll absolutely help.
Are you going star hunting on the at the trade deadline?
You might as well.
Yeah,
that was the whole thing this offseason. I get it. Everyone wants to. We got to end up paying Jalen Carter. We got to pay this guy, paying that guy. I want to pay off this window. Like, how many times are you going to gather this many talented players in one spot?
I mean, with Howie, who knows? But to your point,
they're going to close his loophole. They're going to close that salary cap loophole.
Yeah, they are
left and right.
The NFL's Roger Goodell's already talked about.
Yeah.
That. Yeah.
So that now is the time to capitalize. I will say there's a texter that's speaking my language.
All right, let me hear it.
Trying to get me on board with this whole BG thing.
Let me hear it.
Kevin in Jersey. Ray, you have to think of this like David Robertson. This can't be the only move that's done, but it's better than what you have.
That's great. That's perfect. Yeah.
That's to Kevin. That's a really good point. Texter's got a point on that one. Score 1, Texter, 0, Ray.
Well, that's why you text the text line at 610-632-0975. Trey Hendrickson, going to cost you a second? Or I saw something else, and it might just be phony, baloney, NFL insider stuff. But a mid-round pick and then an impact player, which I don't know what impact player you're giving him. You're not going to trade him Nolan Smith.
No.
For him.
No, now Jalen Son had a pick 6, so that stock's through the roof. You can't move off of Jalen Son. He's untouchable, of course.
Well, you almost, I mean, you can't trade an edge rusher for an edge rusher. You need an edge rusher. But are you willing to give up a second round plus for him?
Sure.
I mean, he can get to the quarterback.
Yeah. Listen, that second round pick will be real nice in 2027 when they round into form. You know, like, I'm good to make that deal. By the way, Andrew DeCecco pointed out to us also Jacorian Bennett eligible to have the 21-day practice window open up this week.
Okay. So they'll at least
some
be able
help at corner.
They'll be able to throw some bodies at some issues.
Yeah. Hopefully.
Which is a good thing. All right. Give me one more text on the subjects here.
No, right. I got another BG text here. I retired from coaching my team after winning a championship, going out on top, and all afterwards I regretted it. 55 probably feels the same way.
If you still have the itch and you get the opportunity, he still had the itch. All else being equal, I don't think he was done with playing football. But sometimes your decisions are made for you. A, no team wants you, or B, we won the Super Bowl. Why would I'm not going to go back. We won the Super Bowl. If they don't win the Super Bowl, I think he's already back and playing. But winning the Super Bowl made that decision for him. But given the opportunity, there was always this flirtatious thing with the Eagles and Brandon Graham with this year. And I don't know if Howie made the call or Howie saw him and just gave him a wink. But I think that it was always on the table of Brandon coming back. And it looks like at this point I would be shocked if he doesn't come back the week after the bye. And honestly, do I think that Brandon's in this great game shape? No, but I don't think he ever gets to the point where he's not in at least decent shape. He's still working out. He's not just, eating and getting fat. Now, he'll need to get in game shape. But I don't think that I think that Brandon's in good enough shape. If you know that this is going to be a possibility, you don't let yourself go and not at least be ready to go. And he's going to play, 10 or 15 snaps the first game he plays?
Yeah. He'll warm up to it. Yeah.
Thank you, 97.5.
He can thank us. Who knows if he's the all-time Eagle. He may owe 97.5 for getting it. His number's getting retired, right, Ray?
Yeah.
Lock. If you retire one Eagle player from this whole run, from 17 to now, right now, who is it? It's a good text line question.
See, if it's only one,
0975.
If it's only one, I'm probably going with the Hall of Famer. That was probably
Lane.
Oh, Lane wasn't even the way I was going.
Don't go. No, don't go Jason Peters.
No, not Peters.
No.
Different Jason.
Kelsey?
Yeah. When he retired, we were talking about maybe he's the best center that's played.
He's a Hall of Famer. He's a Hall of Famer for sure. All right, so you go Kelsey over BG.
But Lane's got 2 Super Bowls, and
Lane's the best player.
Probably.
Lane's got to be the number that gets retired.
Yeah. It's not going to be just one number. We're very fortunate here.
I'm just saying, who's the number one? Who's the number one retired number?
Probably got to be Lane.
610-632-0975. Text line, phone line. You decide. Jeffrey Lurie says, sorry, guys, I can only retire one number. It hurts me greatly. But I will not retire more than one number for this entire run. 610-632-0975. We'll also get into back or pack. Who's coming back? And we have to start looking at the outfield. That's what's coming up next. And I got something for Dave Dombrowski. I'm so annoyed with the Phillies right now. That's coming up. It is Middays with Marks, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
Back in the win column, I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update. The Eagles won 28-22 over the Vikings on Sunday in Minnesota. Jalen Hurts threw for 326 yards, 3 touchdowns in the game. 2 of those touchdowns going to A.J. Brown. Devontae Smith with a career day, 9 catches, 183 yards, and a touchdown. Carson Wentz, a pair of interceptions, including a pick 6 to Jalix Hunt. Jalen Hurts, after the game, talked about getting back in the win column.
We're not losers anymore because that's all I could think about. That's all I could think about throughout these last 2 weeks. Having opportunities to finish the game, to finish the fourth quarter. I really think this is the first time we've finished the fourth quarter, and it finished in the second half.
And they're still 5-2 despite that. Giants coming up next week as the Birds try to get revenge for that Thursday night debacle just a week and a half ago. Flyers won over the weekend, 2-1 over the Wild. Host the Kraken tonight at 7 o'clock. We'll have the live call before right here on 97.5 The Fanatic. This update is brought to you by Mercedes-Benz. Looking for an exceptional driving experience? Experience the power, precision, and intelligence of an iconic Mercedes-Benz SUV at your local Mercedes-Benz dealer today. I'm Ray Dunn, your home for the Sixers, Flyers, and Union. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
All right, we're back. It is Middays with Marks, 97.5. The Fanatic, John Marks, Ray Dunn, Harry Mays in the building tomorrow. Eagles win. The Eagles win, and we'll get back to it. But it's such a big offseason for the Phillies. Or is it? Because the team doesn't seem to have any urgency to improve themselves. But we're going to decide what the Phillies do, and we'll have our own opinions, and we'll guess what they do. Every day, we do something called Back or Pack. Back or Pack.
The Phillies season is over.
It's over, Johnny.
Now it's time to ask, who should be back? And who should start to pack?
Pack your bags.
See ya! And I wouldn't want to be here. It's time for Back or Pack on Middays with Marks.
All right, today we examine Harrison Bader. And just contractually, there's a mutual option for $10 million. Now, when do they have to decide that mutual option on? A lot of times it's a couple days after the World Series. Sometimes they do it shortly before free agency. But both parties will need to agree if Harrison Bader is coming back, the Phillies and the player. So I would say right now that the Phillies would love to have Bader back at 1 year for $10 million. I would also believe that Harrison Bader would like to come back for more than 1 year and $10 million. So could you do a 2 for 20? Back or pack Harrison Bader? The 1 year, if it's a mutual option, I think it's a no-brainer. I would not go 3 years with Bader. If you can do 2 for 20, okay.
2 for 20. Sign me up.
Yeah. If he wants 3, see ya. No, thank you.
Depends the average value.
Well, I will say this about him. If you're thinking that, well, sure, I want to bring him back, look what he did last year, the odds are he's not going to be the same player for the full season that he was in the small sample size for the Phillies last year. Look at his career numbers and what he's done. He is generally a platoon-ish type player, a little bit better than a platoon player. I like his defense. I like what he brings to the clubhouse. I like him, but I'm not overreacting to what I saw from him last season.
Yeah, the 2 months you got of him as a Philly and really the 6-week stretch that opened up his time as probably 4 weeks. Probably the first 2 weeks for him weren't great. The last 2 weeks of the season, he started to cool off. I think we all remember the really, really good times with him. The problem is there's not a lot you like in that outfield right now. Defensively, I don't think there's a lot I feel comfortable with in center. Marsh is a better corner outfielder than he is a center fielder. That's not really a knock on him. That's just the reality about him, and that's the reality of the position. Bader came and played Monty's angle better than I've seen most outfielders who grew up as Phillies play in the 2 months that he was here.
He's good.
And the reason why I'm a little more optimistic on him, and I'm not projecting long-term like 3 to 5 years, but projecting like the next 2 years, I think the adjustments he made at the plate are something that can actually stick. I don't know why it took him till his 30s to sell out for pull-side power and to switch his approach at the plate like that, because you make yourself tremendously valuable as a center fielder that can hit high teens number of home runs and, again, put the ball in play at that level, like just that many extra base hits. I'd be interested. If they could go 3 years but a low AAV, I'm not going like 3 for 45, I would be okay with that.
In 2022, this is a guy that gets traded a lot, too. In 2022, he batted .217 with the Yankees after batting .256 with the Cardinals. I believe he was still under contract, so he came back. He batted .240 with the Yankees, and he was traded to Cincinnati, where he batted .161. Or maybe they even released him. I don't know. 2024 with the Mets, batted .236. And then this year with the Twins, he batted .258 before being traded to the Phillies, where he batted .305 in 177 at bats. So I liked what I saw this year from him. I mean, hasn't he proven to be the player that he's been with the other teams rather than the player, even if he's 3/4 of the player he was with the Phillies?
Well, I'd just be prior to the Phillies this season. The reason he gets traded is because he was having a much better year. And that was attributed to the fact that he had changed his approach at the plate. He's got that just wild step at this point where he's just trying to pull the ball out of the ballpark. Like, if you don't like that approach, I'm fine if you don't want to bring it back. Also, this comes down to two things. Whether or not you believe his approach is something that's sustainable, that he's changed for the better, or if you believe that Justin Crawford projects as a center fielder in Major League Baseball.
Well, here's the problem with him as a corner outfielder. He doesn't have any power. So now you have Marsh and Crawford, both left-handed batters. I mean, Bader being right-handed makes it where you almost, not that you have to, but Give me another right-handed center fielder that's out there in free agency or that you're going to trade for. I don't know. And I did a little bit of a look, and I'm like, all right, it doesn't look great, especially for how much money he's going to make. Overpaying Harrison Bader is not something that I'm looking to do. And I am willing to walk away. You're not walking away from Schwarber, and I'm not walking away from Schwarber. If he's coming back, he's coming back.
Yeah, I'm not taking money away from Schwarber or Realmuto pursuits to keep Harrison Bader here. If we're talking about premium defensive positions that I get solid offensive output from, I'm going catcher over center fielder in this.
All right, so all right, let's do this, right? Let's look at our outfield right now. So you have Crawford, who, God, you just wish that why doesn't he play center? Is he just not as good of a center fielder?
I was reading, I think it was Scott Lauber in the Inquirer. I don't know if it was the end of last week or this weekend, and their farm director seems to think like someone down there actually in the minor leagues believes that he can play center field. I don't understand, okay, Johan Rojas comes down at the end of the season. That just locks you into left field. I guess that's fine, but he was playing left field before that. He had played center field all the way up until he got to AAA. Why does that change? Are you projecting him to be?
They probably don't think he's a center fielder, which sucks because you want your corner bats to have a little bit more pop. Marsh has more pop. So right now you have Crawford is expected by a lot of people to be a starter next year. You have Brandon Marsh unless you're making a trade. You have Weston Wilson, who spends time in the minors frequently. You have Otto Kemp, who came up as an infielder. You have Rojas. These are just guys that are in the mix to play in the outfield. You have Rojas. Nobody expects Castellanos back. So let's just say that you have Bader in there. Crawford, Marsh, Bader as your outfield on a team that Dave Dombrowski's kicking his feet up and saying, yeah, Dave Dombrowski's going to get a World Series ring made that they won this year. That was my reaction to his press conference, especially after the Dodgers sweep the Brewers. So, tell me what you think of that outfield: Crawford, Marsh, Weston Wilson, Otto Kemp, Rojas, and Bader. What do you think? Not great. It sucks. You're telling me this is an outfield of a team that you expect to go to the World Series? I mean, come on. Say you want about Castellanos. At least when he gets hot, he has power potential.
Yeah. We saw a lot of it this year.
Marsh is the platoon outfielder. Weston Wilson is better than a AAA player, not by much. Otto Kemp, I don't know if he can be an outfielder. You have Rojas and Bader. And Bader is shown to be a platoon player. And you have Crawford. Really? That's your outfield?
It's not good. That's the problem with when you look at this offseason where the money's going to be spent. That's the issue with the run it back thing to me isn't so much they don't have talented guys here. It's that they still need the impact bat they've been searching for. Last year, they needed a right-handed impact bat in the outfield. We ended up with Max Kepler. That issue still exists this year and probably still exists even if you retain Harrison Bader. So maybe that's your biggest reason why you wouldn't retain Harrison Bader, because you need to spend that 10, 12, whatever $1 million he's going to get.
You're not bringing Kepler back.
No.
You have enough left-handed bats. You don't need to bring Kepler back. He had moments with power and things like that. You're not bringing Kepler back. Even if Bader can't be the only impact bat that you're adding. Are you trying to get a better Kepler, like what you thought Kepler could be? By giving him the 1 year, maybe you're getting $5 or $6 million and he turns into Dombrowski this year, and it's what bothers me about his comments and his attitude. He actually needs to do his job this offseason and get players that aren't making a ton of money and are having impact.
If you look at this outfield, if you bring back Bader, the way they have it lined up is it's going to be Crawford. Because I think Crawford's going to be up to start the season.
Crawford, Bader.
And then a Marsh something platoon.
Crawford, Bader, Otto Kemp, or Weston Wilson, and Marsh?
I don't think you could.
Dude, that sucks.
I don't think you could put Kemp or Wilson in right field.
Not as your full-time right fielder.
No, but even as a platoon.
No. Well, they're your right-handed bats.
Right.
So then you have who's your left-handed outfielder out there?
Well, Marsh. Because I'm
awesome.
Yeah, well, Marsh to me as a platoon guy was fine. From the beginning of May when he came back from the injury to the end, he's fine. Do I want him hitting fifth in a playoff series? No, I'm okay with that. I'll pass on.
All right, we'll come back and we'll revisit Dave Dombrowski's comments at the press conference, the what ifs. Because after the Dodgers sweep, I just feel like that Dave Dombrowski had his legs up on the desk, smoking a cigar, and enjoying the Dodgers because the Phillies, they should get like a smaller diamond World Series ring because that's the attitude of the team right now. 610-632-0975. Middays with Marks, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Attention, Delaware Valley. 97.
All right, back. Middays with Marks, 97.5 The Fanatic. Bill Colarulo just in here chopping it up during the break. He's coming up with a Ricky Bo Unfiltered. That's coming up at 2 o'clock. Stay tuned for that. Here is Dave Dombrowski at his press conference. And I will react accordingly afterwards. Here's Dave Dombrowski at his press conference.
I mean, it's a fine line. And really, if you look back, and this is not blaming anybody, I mean, the Dodgers, they didn't make very many mistakes. We outscored the Dodgers in the series, right? Doesn't make any difference. You lost 3 games. But when you look at home plate, if Trey's throws on this side of the plate, on a very difficult play, versus that side of the plate, they don't score any runs at it. Kirk makes that play in there. Who knows what happens the next inning, right? JT had told me that immediately the umpire apologized for missing the call, strike three, right? Everybody's written on it. He makes that call, strike three, they don't score a run.
So everything that he said is fine, but is that what's driving you in the offseason, that you're ticked off at yourself that you lost to the Dodgers and it could have been a championship? Because when you're in baseball as long as Dave Dombrowski has been running teams, you know that you're not going to win every year. So you have it seems like he has a much less urgency about him and how he feels, to where he's looking at it and saying, like, yeah, I did my job. We were that close. And that's all you need is you need to be right there. Like, the Dodgers swept the Brewers. It wasn't a match. Really, you can look at the Phillies and be like, yeah, what we said going into the series is true. They were the two best teams in the National League, perhaps the two best teams in baseball. We'll see what happens in the World Series. The Blue Jays and the Mariners have been a great series. They're going to a Game 7. So I don't think it's going to be easy for the Dodgers. But like, the way that I would be reacting to what happened with the Dodgers sweeping the Brewers and the Dodgers going to the World Series, I'd be so ticked off and angry at myself. And really, instead of looking at it and saying, well, we were right there with the Dodgers, saying, damn it, what do I have to do to get us over the top? Because they're a team that's not going anywhere. And instead of looking at it as saying, we were right there, if this happened, if that happened, what can I do to not be in this position next year? Because I don't get that sense of urgency from Dave Dombrowski at all. Right, Dunn? Do you feel the same way?
What can you do?
What can you do? You can go into the offseason with less of a, well, we're right there, so I don't think I have to make a move. I don't think I need to trade Alec Boehm. I don't think I need to go out there and do better than what I'm going to do with the outfield. That's what you can do. How about not signing Jordan Romano? How about
listen, he had his flaws in the offseason. I'm just saying, this team, by the way it was constructed at the end, is the best team the Dodgers are going to face. With all due respect to what's about to come out of the American League.
Maybe. I don't know that.
I feel very confident in that.
Both of the teams in the American League that are playing right now have been playing their best baseball ending the season. Right? Like, you look at
what we said about the Phillies, right?
Well, and they were. But he had an opportunity to trade for a third baseman, which he wasn't going to do because Boehm or whatever.
Well, yeah, the fact they're married to Boehm is ridiculous. But
the impact Suarez has had on that team since they traded for him, he's been hitting in the postseason as well. So don't bring back Boehm, because it's clear that he's not good. I don't care what anybody says. He's not good. Upgrade the position. You're going to have an outfield that looks like that, and Boehm is your third baseman? What are we talking about here? You want to lean on your stars? Okay, keep leaning on them. This team's not even going to come close to winning a series next year.
Well, I'm confused here. Is it the Stars' fault or is it Dombrowski's fault?
But if you're correct me if you're wrong, if it seems like the strategy with this team is Schwarber, Harper, Turner, and then with the pitching, everything else will fall into place. Your lineup outside of those three, which have proven they can't carry you in the postseason, is going to be Boehm, Otto Kemp, Marsh, Weston Wilson, Crawford, Rojas. Who am I missing? JT? Okay, JT's a part of your big four, but it's a 35-year-old catcher to this point. That's a good enough team to win?
No, they need to shake up the lineup. We know that. He knows that.
Does he?
He's told you Castellanos isn't going to be back. There's start one. I don't think he's throwing Boehm under the bus the way he's going to throw Castellanos under the bus, because there is nothing they could do to salvage that relationship.
So you think that he's going to move Boehm?
I don't know if he's going to, but it seems like, I think that's like if I go into this offseason, I think it's a coin flip whether I see him opening day. Like, again, I know you're big on Otto Kemp. If this big thing this offseason is moving Boehm just to move Boehm and Otto Kemp starts at third base, we're going to be having a I bleep and hate this place game by the middle of April.
But that can't be the offensive move that you make, is trading Boehm and Otto Kemp. No, I think Otto Kemp can fill in capably in different spots. You need to add players to this roster.
They have to. But the thing is, he has to be better at the margins this offseason. That's where this comes down to. He wasn't good enough at the margins last offseason. Everyone wants him, Pete Alonso. They can't spend like the Dodgers. The fact their roster is as good as as close to the Dodgers as it is a credit to who they have and what they've already spent. They have to be better at the margins. I think that's part of the problem here. He can't, listening to him, he missed the tone entirely of the day. I knew he was going to miss the tone entirely of the day.
You did. You predicted.
Because the way he looks at it is, look how close I was to the Dodgers. Look at what the Dodgers spend. Look at what we spend. That's about where we could be. Like,
his tone was we're good. Right?
But they are a good baseball team.
No, but his tone was we're good. I don't have to do anything major. Adding it short. Of course he has to be better at the margins. I could have separated them from winning and losing to the Dodgers.
So that's the thing. That's why his urgency isn't as strong as everyone else's.
But the margin isn't what margins aren't what this outfield looks like right now. This outfield needs more than the margins, man.
And can they get more than just the margins?
I don't know.
Like, that's the thing. If he had gotten the Kepler thing right, and they got an everyday outfielder, and an outfielder that was productive all season long, they probably win one more regular season game. And that one more regular season game is the difference between you being the top seed and not facing the Dodgers until, like, there's so many what-ifs we could walk down the line here. He needs to be better this offseason than he was last offseason. I don't think that's even a question. But where they are as it relates to the Dodgers, it's one of those, you're not wrong when you say it. It's the timing of you saying it.
Yeah, but these guys are also a year older, too.
Well, yeah, but, okay, so.
You're relying on your stars, period, right?
Right.
And they're a year older now. And you're bringing back JT. And you're bringing back Kyle Schwarber, which no one's going to say they shouldn't. Right? They're a year older. So they're going to be more productive in the postseason? Man, you need more production out of the rest of your players on this team.
And if you're Dave Dombrowski, you're going to point to, look how old the Dodgers are.
Man, and those players are productive. He brought up the Freddie Freeman. I watched Freddie Freeman hit a home run in the first game of the series. Smash it.
The Dodgers started pitching. I think I saw this stat over the weekend. Their last 32 starts as a staff is comparable to Paul Skeens' season. Skeens is going to win the Cy Young.
Yeah, the Dodgers starting pitching, you're right, was much better than a lot of people expected.
And this is what they've been trying to do for years, is just spend the money on pitching and have it be healthy at the end.
And it worked.
It
didn't work the first half of the season.
No.
At the end. Yep,
no, they're a guarantee to throw a guy from Double-A out there in a July start for no reason because everyone's hurt. But it clicked at the end here, and it sucks. But Dave Dombrowski's message is wrong time, probably right
place, wrong time. Right place, wrong time.
Right sentiment, wrong time.
Bill in Florida. Bill, 60 seconds. Go. What do you think about this?
I truly believe that Thompson blew that game. I mean, that series. Their first game, he needs to go all out to win that first game because that was the most important game of the series. And I forget the reliever's bullpen arm that he brought in, but I mean, if he should have rode Ranger. I really believe we'd still be playing.
A mistake not to have it in your head. You're going to bring Suarez in the biggest high leverage situation of the game. I agree, it was a mistake. Coming up, news at noon: a fired up coach, a fired coach, and a soon to be fired coach. Oh, this is going to be good. That's coming up next. Middays with Marks, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
Eagles beat the Vikings. I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update. It's brought to you by Groundworks, your trained and certified experts for basement waterproofing and foundation repair since 1997. Book your free inspection at groundworks.com. The Eagles beat the Vikings 28-22 yesterday. Jalen Hurts, 326 in the air, 3 touchdowns, 2 of them to A.J. Brown. Devontae Smith, a career day, 9 catches, 183 yards, and a touchdown. Carson Wentz with 2 interceptions, including a pick 6 to Jalen Hunt. Jalen Hurts, after the game, talking about being back in the winning column.
We're not losers anymore because that's all I could think about. That's all I could think about throughout these last 2 weeks. Having opportunities to finish the game, to finish the fourth quarter. I really think this is the first time we've finished the fourth quarter and finished in the second half.
And yet, in spite of that, they're still 5-2. Giants up next. The Birds look for revenge for that Thursday night loss just a week ago. Flyers won over the weekend, 2-1 over the Wild. Host the Kraken tonight at 7 o'clock. We'll have it for you live here on The Fanatic. This update's also brought to you by Allstate. Wish you could save on home insurance? With Allstate, you could easily save and get quality protection. Check Allstate first for a quote today. You're in good hands with Allstate. I'm Ray Dunn on your own for the Sixers, Flyers, and Union. 97.5 The Fanatic, 97.5thefanatic.com.
we're back. It is Middays with Marks on 97.5 The Fanatic, WPEN and WPEN, HD1 Burlington, Philadelphia, Beasley Media Group Station, broadcasting live from the Comcast Business Studio, powering possibilities. But our podcast is available. So you can watch us a couple different ways, listen to us a couple different ways, live or on demand. If you like to listen on demand, which a lot of people do, if during your workday you don't get a chance to listen, you miss some interviews and things like that, wherever you find your podcast, just search Middays with Marks, leave a nice 5-star review, and you can listen on demand wherever you want to. I'm still cleaning up the way that the podcast looks because it's broken down by hour, but we want to be able to give it to you in a nice clean, here's what happened hour 1, hour 2, hour 3, hour 4. So just make sure you're subscribing and liking. You can catch all of it on our website as well, 975thefanatic.com. And as far as YouTube, if you're watching live, thank you. If you want to go back and watch later on, because we're the most attractive show on the station. That's for sure, Ray Dunn.
Absolutely.
Right, so we have faces that aren't made for radio. Thank you, YouTube. You can watch whenever. Just go to subscribe and go to 97.5 The Fanatic's YouTube page, and you can watch whenever you want to. All right, 12 o'clock hour of the show brought to you by Service First HVAC, offering 0% financing for 48 months, rebates and tax credits up to $4,300 when purchasing a heating and cooling system. Learn more at ServiceFirstHVAC.com. Time for the news at noon.
This city needs its news.
Now, it's time for...
I'd like to be remembered as a good newsman.
The News at Noon.
It's the coolest story I've ever heard in my entire life. That's insane.
With Ray Dunn.
Another week of the News at Noon begins now. We got 3 coaches, all of which probably in some level of trouble. We'll start with one that's not the highest level of trouble. We're going to hockey. You believe it's a football Monday here on the Fanatic, and the News at Noon starts with hockey?
I wanted to lead with that, but you made me talk about the Eagles.
That was me, yes.
That was you.
I was like, we got to talk about the Birds. Let's get back to the Eagles. We're going to get away from the Eagles here and talk about some hockey. Ryan Warsofsky, the head coach of the San Jose Sharks, was asked about turning the season around after an 0-3-2 start to the year. It was so worthwhile that it had to lead off News at Noon.
I keep telling myself there's got to be a reason why this keeps happening in a sense. I'd give up one of my children for a win, so...
I would give up one of my children for a bleeping win.
Well, if he has a lot, how many kids does he have? He has a lot. No.
How many kids until you can start giving up kids?
Right. Yeah, if you have 2 kids, I would say that wouldn't be worth it. But hey, if he has 7, you even going to realize they're gone? I don't know.
I'm trying to get to the personal life here. I don't see anything in the personal life here.
They could use a win. Well, where were you? What was his name again?
Ryan Warsofsky.
I mean, where were you when Ryan Warsofsky went 0-3-2 to start a season? It's a big deal.
Well, he had a tough go last year as well. So this could be a rough go of it for him.
So he could get whacked, you're saying?
Yes. I'm seeing right now he has to have more than 1 kid. The Wikipedia says only 1 kid. He said one of my children. He's probably up, 2, 3
Maybe they
at this point?
just didn't add it.
Yeah. Still, I feel like at 3 kids, giving up one of them for a win this early into the season, I think you should just let it happen naturally.
Or how many games in hockey?
82.
82? Like the NBA? Yeah, it might be like after if he was 0-8-2.
Yeah, then it's like, all right, sacrifice the kid type thing, you know?
Agreed.
But we're not
little early.
Yeah, we're not in kid, I guess, sacrificing mode.
Although, I don't know how hot the seat is in San Jose, right? If he's in danger of losing his job, that's losing millions of dollars, potentially.
I mean, I feel like this is year 2. You probably made enough to take care of that kid for a little while here.
Yeah.
All right. To a coach that actually lost their job, Billy Napier. It's so difficult down there in Florida. Just unfortunate for those Gators. He won. He won the game. Lost the job on Sunday.
Yep.
After the game, he sounded like a man that knew it was all about to be over.
Yeah.
Man, I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to enjoy this one tonight. That's what I'm going to do. Okay? And then I'll wake up tomorrow and we'll worry about what's next. We're banged up. We need an open date. And I know our group will be excited about the next one, right? So, yeah, I'm gonna go take a deep breath, get something good to eat, all right? Prop my feet up on the house, hug on them kids and Miss Allie, and then tomorrow we'll wake up and we'll think about the next one.
College football is so different from the pros with the head coaches, right? James Franklin was on. You don't have any James Franklin on this, do you?
No.
He was on game day.
I still haven't watched it. I'm like worried to watch it.
Yeah, I took a shower afterwards. I just like it's just he's such a phony. These college coaches they're just so different from NFL coaches. I was just hoping I would feel one human moment from James Franklin. I didn't get it because he's just such a phony. It was so apparent. A lot of people were also, I saw at least on social media, criticizing the game day crew for not doing a tougher interview. That's not the forum that he's going to get a tougher interview. Nick Saban spoke out about how it was unfair that he got fired, but like I at least wanted to see some type of human moment, some type of, and he was just like, nope, right on to I'm going to win a national championship somewhere else. Whatever. I hate James.
Because there's, 15 better jobs in America than Penn State to win a national title?
He'll get it. If he wants it, he'll get a job. Maybe Florida hires him. Doesn't mean he's going to win down there.
Right.
This isn't 2005, man. Things change quickly.
But that's a coach right there that knew it was over. Like
he knew it was
also,
done.
I guess I'm not from the South.
No.
Is every coach's wife referred to as Ms. First name? Is that just how this goes?
Probably.
Because that's, I saw the Ms. Terry. They were talking about Nick Saban's wife over the weekend. Ms. Sally. I'm going home to the wife. Do we have to do with the Ms? I don't know.
We're Yankees up here, man.
Yeah.
We don't understand the culture.
I don't get it. I don't get it. All right, from a coach in Florida that was fired to one that somehow today still has a job and confirmed today that job's safe. Ian Rappaport saying Mike McDaniel will coach another week, at least in Miami. He's sick of his quarterback. He benched Tua and then spoke after the game, seemingly about Tua.
There's a lot of guys that will have an important work week because we're not, if you are negatively affecting the football team routinely, I don't have a choice but to, assess a different player and I have to coach a lot better as well. So we need, we're going to find out who and what we're made of.
There you go. He also had another one where they asked him about his job security, and he was like offended by the question. Or I can't believe he's gonna. I guess they're gonna let him coach the rest of the season, and then not bring him back. Maybe they want to keep losing. I don't know. Do they? They're not turning it around this year. What's it gonna do? Get you a couple more wins, which you really don't want.
Is it his job to fray the relationship with Tua to the point where they can move on from him?
It's over. Tua will never be a starting franchise quarterback in the NFL again after this year. He's not. Maybe they bring in another coach and they try to get him going again just because they have to. They have no other choice, but he's done.
I would think he's done, but I guess is that like why you keep McDaniel? Because it's pretty clear. It seems like there's a massive disconnect between the two.
I think it's pretty clear that these guys aren't playing for McDaniel.
Oh,
and
no.
you can say it's really Tua and it's just the overall locker room. I don't know. I have no reason to believe that. Do you take him seriously when he's up there?
No, right there. He was squirming left and right answering that question. Just say what you need to say.
He's one of these guys that probably knows X's and O's and can scheme guys open and uses motion all the time. But when he stands up there and he talks to his team, there's a lot of eye rolling going on. I said this in the offseason. These guys want nothing to do with playing for this guy. Do they dislike him? I don't know if they dislike him. They just look at him and they're like, this is our head coach. At least Sirianni's a meathead. And he gets up there with the Schmedium T-shirt and he's yelling and screaming.
He's had success.
No, he has. No, absolutely. Now, I'm not trying to downplay Sirianni.
No. I'm right there with you. Sirianni's had success. Sirianni's had a level of success where it's like, all right, this guy might be a goofball, but like he's figured out how to win as a goofball, so I'm gonna have to listen to him.
But I think the guys have always respected him, right? Like when he had that whole flower thing and the media was making fun of him because the fertilizing and everything else.
Yeah.
I remember talking to Brandon Graham on the Brandon Graham show about this specifically, and he said it ticked them off in the locker room because they knew the message he was sending, and maybe it came out a little goofy, but they didn't like the way that he was.
We
being
all
treated.
fertilize.
Right. They knew what he was saying, and they stood up for him. I don't think that anybody on this team standing up or sticking up for McDaniel.
No, but if the Eagles in that season don't spin it, where they don't go from 2-5 to 9-8.
But that was the turning point, and they could have pivoted to, listen to this dude. What the bleep is he talking about? Whatever. Like, I just want him. This team has been playing since last year. They've been playing like we want this guy out of here.
Yeah.
Including the quarterback. And they probably want the quarterback out of here.
Right. I mean, the situation there has just become a disaster.
Total disaster.
Just a disaster.
It's been fun watching it. And he's probably gonna finish the season. Or maybe they fire him after. But if there's been moments where they wanted to move on from him this year, how many moments have we had where they could have moved on from him any of these weeks?
Oh, it should have been. It should have been today, last Monday, the Monday before that. Like, it should have been over a while ago.
Yeah, he's wearing Uncle Jamie on the text line. He's wearing capri pants up there. I mean, come on.
See, the capris would be a fashionable thing if you're winning.
Right. Then he's looked at.
Yeah. Then he's just like, oh, look at this personality, which is what he was at the beginning.
Yeah.
When it looked like the Dolphins might be decent with him, it was like, wow, look at this guy. He's quirky. They're winning.
Yeah, I think the locker room is still looking at him with a side eye. And then when you stop winning, then it's not fun.
Right. Yeah, it's not fun.
James Franklin, the OK State, Oklahoma State.
Nice.
He'd be really good. He'd be really good in the Big 12.
From 10-2 to 9-3.
Right, in the Big 12, and they'll be happy.
Yep. They'll lose the big game that they have against the real program in September. They'll lose one of the very important Big 12 games. They'll have a clunker loss, and then they'll be 9-3. Yeah.
And they'll be happy.
Yep.
Until they're not, and then he'll still keep his job and make a lot of money.
I would never look for a job again.
Matt Rule, by the way, for all you Penn State fans that are waiting for the day Matt Rule to come back, okay. They got beat up.
That looked like a distracted team.
So took the words out of my mouth. He comes out and he has that terrible press conference where he more or less he pours gasoline on the Penn State fire, and then he comes back on Pat McAfee and he tries to put it out. Well, guess who didn't buy putting it out? His team. Minnesota kicked their ass on Friday night. That was embarrassing, man. That's bad by Matt Rule. That's bad.
Yeah,
that's bad. So you want him to be your head coach, all right. You look at his record against good teams as well. All right? It's very James Franklin-ish. Smaller sample size. 610-632-0975. Let's take great joy in the Giants losing yesterday's game because the Eagles have them coming up on Sunday before the bye. And there's some confident people walking around thinking this is going to be a revenge game for the Eagles. But the Giants, when you talk about blowing it, man, did they blow it. We have the radio call for that coming up next. Also, we'll get some reaction from the text line, etc. That's all coming up. This is Middays with Marks, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Hey, everybody, it's Bill Colarulo, and coming up at 2 o'clock.
Last segment of the program. It's something we call feedback. And how do you give us feedback to be featured in the segment? Well, you can email 975feedback at 975thefanatic.com. It can be strictly sports. If you want to rip us for our takes, give your own opinion. Some of the non-sports stuff that we talk about, which we have a couple of those coming up here. Whatever you got to say, Mike DeBoner actually. He usually, sometimes he texts because you can also text. But sometimes Mike DeBoner will email 975feedback at 975thefanatic.com. Or you can text 610-632-0975. Leave your name, location, and feedback. And then put your text, and then we know that you want to be featured in the feedback segment. That's coming up later on in the show. And a good feedback thing that we had was numbers being retired. So if you could only retire one number, because it looks like Brandon Graham's coming back, and that 55 again will be back on the field. It's the last time it's going to be worn by an Eagles player, because Brandon Graham will have his number retired. If you're only retiring one number, you're only allowed to retire one number. A new rule came in from the NFL. What's the number that you would retire? And I know that there was a lot on the text board regarding this, Ray. Is that correct?
Yeah, we got a lot on the text board here, and most of them driving home the point that it should be Lane Johnson. We did get a texter here. I'm retiring BG over Lane and Kelsey. BG doesn't have the strip sack. First Super Bowl is never won. He had impact plays in the Super Bowl last year as well.
So Lane's one. Who's two? So they say, all right, you got two. You can retire two. Is it Kelsey over BG?
Probably, yeah.
It's tough. And luckily they won't need to do this. Jason Peters?
No.
So, but they're going to retire Jason Peters' number.
Really?
He was Jeffrey Lurie's homie. This guy said they were like, he had a direct line to Jeffrey Lurie. I know we don't look at it right now because he's been gone for a couple of years, but he's an all-time franchise player that wasn't playing during the Super Bowl because of injury, but still has a Super Bowl ring. You gotta put him in there as much as anybody with that. I like them. Don't get me wrong, but I don't. It's hard to put him over a guy that has two Super Bowls.
It's crazy that I haven't given out his number since.
Yeah, no, he's gonna get his number retired. What about Fletcher? Can you retire all these guys? Fletcher never played for another team.
I mean, he'll probably get it retired too,
right? No, he is getting it. No, the 91 will be retired.
Yeah, so 91, 55, 62, 71.
Kelsey, BG, and Lane, are they locks?
Yeah.
They're locks. Fletcher, I don't think is a lock, but gets in.
Yeah,
it's close to a lock.
Yeah, 91. If you think Peters a lock, there's 5 right there.
There's 5 right there. Jalen is going to be, right? I mean, he's won Super Bowl MVP, and he went to another.
Don't tell the text line that.
How about this? Jalen Hurts is on the way to having a Hall of Fame career.
Yeah.
Right?
There's 2 ways to get there. Crazy passing numbers and winning.
And he's
does
winning. The winning part.
Yeah, so.
All right, we'll keep them coming on the text line and for feedback. If you retire BG, is getting retired, you have to retire Fletch, right? Draft pick, never played for another team, was a part of the biggest success run for the Eagles in franchise history. Was a big part of it. One of the best players at his position in football for a long time. Shady's like, they haven't given Shady's number out. Can't retire Shady.
But, yeah, because you can't retire all these numbers, but who else deserves to wear 25? Like, how long do you wait? Because now we got, who's wearing 36 now? Is it Latu that's wearing 36?
For what?
For the Eagles.
Yeah, but for who? Brian Westbrook?
No, I'm saying they ended up giving it out, but they waited.
No, they didn't. They gave it out right away.
No, 8 years.
For Westbrook?
Yeah, Ajayi was the next one to wear 36.
I remember them giving that out the next year in training camp.
Maybe training camp. Yeah, where I'm looking doesn't have
I just remember being pissed that I saw 36 and being like really? I was mad that B West left anyway, and that was really the Eagles saying, "No, we're good." Like he wanted to come back. Brian wanted to come back for another year, even as like a backup, and they said no. They haven't given out Randall, so Randall's that guy that's unofficially retired.
So how many of those guys fall into that category?
Shady, Randall. So just retire him.
Yeah, what's the difference?
Well, you know what the difference is when Jeffrey Lurie, when he sells the team or the Lorries are no longer owning the team in the year 2050, and Randall's gone, maybe they start throwing it back out there. I mean, at some point, don't you have to use the number? Like, why can't you just retire it and then say, okay, but you can use it? I don't know. But not giving it out, just retire the number then.
Right. Like this whole flirtation with whether or not they're going to retire the 08 core for the Phillies. Like
They should retire.
Just retire them.
They should retire Chase Utley, Ryan Howard, Jimmy Rollins. All three, and that's it.
That works.
I don't think you can do one and not the others.
Correct. Yeah.
You can't do Chase and not the other two. That wouldn't be fair. That'd be ridiculous. And I don't care if they make the Hall of Fame, because that's always the thing, is they've never retired a jersey that wasn't in the Hall of Fame. And Roy Halladay, like Roy Halladay's numbers retired by the Phillies, and the others won't. No, that's not okay with me. Those guys deserve to have their number retired before Roy Halladay. So they better do that. All right. The Giants lose yesterday, and not only did they lose, were you watching these late games, Ray? Where were you?
Were
you out?
I was on my way back I was out in the burbs. I was out near you.
Oh, that's right. You did say
I was
that.
out back home. So I was on my way back to the city. Then I caught the very end of this Giants game.
So it is 19-0 entering the fourth quarter. The Broncos scored 33 fourth quarter points, and it was a wild one, man. Just when you thought that the Giants got scored, like the Broncos were dead, then they kept scoring, then they took the lead, and Jackson Dart, was it a 4th and 19 play? Jackson Dart's legit, dude, and I hate it, but the kid's got some stones, and he completed a 4th and 19 to give him a first down. They score, they go up, but they get a touchdown, but they miss the extra point. Oh man. These Giants they can't get a punter or a kicker to save their lives. So they miss the extra point. So now they're only up 2. And the Broncos don't have a ton of time left, but all you need is like 5 seconds in the NFL. So just enough time. They actually had a long completion. They were not conservative. They had a long completion and sets them up, and a very easy field goal, actually, to win the game. So here's how it sounded on WFAN Giants Radio Network.
39-yard field goal to win the game with 2 seconds to go. Lutz is set. Snap is good. Kick on its way, and it is good. And the Denver Broncos have beaten the Giants 33-32 as they come from 19 points down in the third quarter and then drive it down the field at the end of the game.
Yep, you live with a lot of things, but you can't have kickers missing in crunch time. Your defense completely evaporated for the last 8 minutes of the game. They have no one to blame but themselves. Yeah, they got to grow up, but boy, oh boy, this is one where your offense gives you another chance. You take the lead, and your kicker can't even secure overtime because he misses an extra point. I mean, this is professional football, folks.
Yeah, I saw Brandon Lee Gouton put this on Bleeding Green Nation with Jake Elliott. Jake Elliott missed, I think, a 44-yard field goal. As he pointed out, it was in a dome, even though I think the dome was open yesterday. But still, there's no weather that's going to – you rarely see kickers miss extra points. And if you're not kicking a 59-yard field goal, you don't belong in this league. If you're not able to kick from 64 accurately, you're the old story in the league. And missing an extra point like that, I mean, that's really the game right there. Because then they get the ball back with 37 seconds. Did they have a timeout? They may not even had a timeout. I don't think they did. And 29-yard pass, and there was a penalty, a 22-yard pass, and then that's the game right there. And they had a 39-yard field goal to win it, and they did. So, you know what? Because the Giants are now 2-5. If they get that game, they're 3-4, and there's some momentum. But when you look at some of the odds, the odds makers don't expect the Giants to be a factor in the division. They have 5 losses now. Eagles are very comfortable 7-point favorites this week at home against the Giants. But that was a tough loss. I know, like, my friends that are Giants fans, very distraught after that. And I responded back, and I just said, listen, at least you got your quarterback. You know it. It doesn't make you feel any better after blowing that game like that, but you got your quarterback. But that was a bad loss.
Yeah, it's the difference between Daboll having a job and not.
Which might be a good thing for the Giants, quite frankly.
Maybe in the long run.
But depending on who they hire, I hope they make another bad hire.
Yeah.
Last
Go
thing
get
you need
another
is
Joe Judge.
the last thing you need is someone that's actually knows what they're doing coming in here. All right, coming back. We had some disappointed texts on the Eagles' win yesterday. Not everybody happy. Your thoughts? Was yesterday a turning point or just another win, and you're still concerned about this team? The text line had thoughts, and you can have some thoughts as well. 610-632-0975. Middays with Marks, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
Back in the win column, I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update. The Eagles beat the Vikings 28-22 on Sunday to improve to 5-2. Jalen Hurts, 326 passing yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 of them to A.J. Brown. Devontae Smith, a career day, 9 catches, 183 yards, and a touchdown. Carson Wentz tossed 2 interceptions, including a pick 6 to Jalen Hunt. Here is Jalen Hurts after the game talking about getting back in the win column.
We're not losers anymore. Because that's all I could think about. That's all I could think about throughout these last 2 weeks. Having opportunities to finish the game, to finish the fourth quarter. I really think this is the first time we've finished the fourth quarter and finished in the second half.
And yet, in spite of that, they're still 5-2 on the season. They've got the Giants up next. Of course, New York coming off that heartbreaking loss to the Broncos. The Flyers won over the weekend 2-1 over the Wild. Host the Kraken tonight at 7 o'clock. We'll have it live for you right here on the Fanatic starting at 7 o'clock. This update is brought to you by Allstate. Wish you could save on home insurance. With Allstate, you could easily save and get quality protection. Check Allstate first for a quote today. You're in good hands with Allstate. I'm Ray Dunn on your home for the Sixers, Flyers, and Union. 97.5 The Fanatic, 97.5thefanatic.com.
All right, we're back. It is Middays with Marks, 97.5, The Fanatic. Ray Dunn, John Marks, midday Harry Mays tomorrow on the program. So stay tuned for that. A lot of this is from a sports talk standpoint, and I have confessed that I'm more of a sports talk person than sports radio person. The difference, sports radio is that you kind of bounce around and like more text board than phone calls. And I've born and raised sports talk, and I love the interaction of it. The text board today, there's a lot of fans that aren't necessarily, not that they're not happy with the win, because everybody should be happy with the Eagles winning a game. It's a matter of, okay, thank God. I feel like that's one thing we needed right there was a win. We're over the hump. Everything's great. And I don't feel that at all. This is still a playoff team, a good team or whatever, but I didn't see anything from Patullo or Nick Sirianni yesterday to think that they have much more of a clue than they did before in calling plays or running an offense. But what did the text board have to say there? Right?
Yeah, we got a texter here. I'm confused. QB1 played his best game of the year, and guess what? Our offense put up 21 points and scored 3 out of 10 possessions. That's horrible with the roster we have. Our offense was outscored by Carson Wentz, the Minnesota Vikings. That's horrible. We scored our first drive of the game. We had 4 straight 3-and-outs. This offense should not look mediocre whatsoever.
I agree. Great first drive, and that's where you're scripting. You know what you're doing coming in. I give credit to the coaching and to the players for executing it. But the next 3 drives, they went 3 and out, and they had 8 total yards. And then the 5th drive of the half, their 4th drive after the touchdown, the half ended, and they gave up a sack to Jalen Hurts, and they were trying to get a field goal there. And they needed one more positive play to kind of get them in the range where they could get it, and Wentz got sacked. So they had 4 plays and 19 yards on that drive. So 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out for 8 total yards. And then they went 4 plays on that final one before the half. That's not good enough. That's not good enough. So all this, if you're feeling great because then they came out in the second half and they look great in the second half, to me that was players making plays. That's not they're still only had 1 good half of offensive football. And if you don't get the Carson Wentz pick 6, you go into halftime with 7 points on the board. That's horrendous. Any more there, Ray?
Yeah, we got one here. And this is Anthony from South Jersey. I don't understand all the love for Hurts today. Obviously, the stats look good, but look at the number of points they scored. It wasn't overly impressive to watch. This feels like a Mad Mike Burner text that I'm reading here. It wasn't overly impressive what they were able to do as an offense all game.
Well, I mean, Jalen was 19 for 23. But, I mean, when you have 326 yards on 19 completions, that means that you made a ton of big plays, which they did. But Jalen also connected on the throws, and he was willing to throw them.
And here's Elliott, Michigan. Yes, the stats look better. This was and still not a complete game. Hurts had 70 passing yards in the first half. Outside of 3 plays, he was 16 for 19 for 145 yards. Saquon was not efficient. We did not get the new offensive consistency and efficiency we're looking for. We got a few big plays that we know we're capable of. Still not a complete game. Still not a good running game. Still not well-timed plays. Horrible 3rd down. Horrible 3-and-outs.
Well, the good thing is you're through 6 weeks and not having played your best game yet is fine. And I won't take away from the big plays because if that's going to have to be a big part of your offense, that's fine. Big play, I mean, if you're a big play offense, then you have to realize that that's how you're going to have to score. We've seen the methodical Eagles. The Eagles last year were methodical. They more or less wanted to play that brand of football because they didn't feel like anybody could stop them, and they couldn't. That's not this year. They're not going to be able to rely on running the football this year. They're going to need these big plays. How about this? If they can't get big plays, they're not going to score points. Jalen isn't a guy where he's going to sit out and they're going to play him in zone and he's going to go, all right, let me go 11 yards here. Let's go 7 yards here. Let's go 11 yards here. No, yesterday was in my opinion, the way that Jalen and this offense need to run their passing game. And then hopefully that sets up the run. But there also yesterday was a couple of plays to me that defined the game, including from that first drive. We talk about the first drive. They're at the 37-yard line. So they're at the Vikings 37. It's 4th and 4. The drive had kind of stalled. And the Vikings rushed 3. Because on the broadcast, I think they even said blitz is coming, but it wasn't. They actually rushed 3. I went back and looked at the play. So they go for it 4th and 4. Jalen sees AJ. He's he's single coverage on the left-hand side, and he recognizes it. So he's out there kind of looking, but nobody's open. So he drops back. He has protection. Nobody's open. And he motions towards A.J., and A.J. he goes. And Jalen throws it up for him, and it's a completion touchdown. The original play wasn't a go route where it's, all right, I'm getting the ball out of the hands, and it's going to Jalen, or it's going to A.J. That actually wasn't the play. That wasn't the play call. It was good communication with A.J. and Jalen. That's not something we've seen recently, right? Mm-hmm. At all. So that's good. Also, on that the final play, the play that really iced the game, 3rd and 9, they're only up by 6. If the Vikings get a stop, this is the game. Now you're giving the ball to the Vikings when they have a chance to drive and win the game. The Vikings sent some extra pressure, and A.J. had single coverage on the outside. Jalen, and we've seen him struggle with this previously, he didn't wait. He got the ball out of his hands pretty much right away, and he put it up for A.J. to make a play. He even underthrew A.J. a little bit, but he had beaten Isaiah Rodgers so bad off of the line, it was an easy catch. He runs a little bit, and then he kind of just goes down, and that was the ball game right there. So 2 big plays between your 2 star players that really we have seen failed in the past. And to me, that's why I'm as happy as I am with Jalen's play. Not about the offense and Kevin Patullo and Nick Sirianni, about what they were able to do between the star players. That's how they got to play, man. If Jalen can't make big throws and big plays like that off script, isn't what makes Jalen Hurts a difference maker in this league is what he's doing outside of the regular offense with his legs and able to make throws. That's when Jalen Hurts is at his best, for sure. All right, coming back. Jordan Mailata threw a lot of praise at Jalen Hurts postgame, and we'll take a listen to what he said. He says Hurts is dialed in, and one click for the quarterback. Also, we have some time for calls next segment. We have a lot of texts of people complaining about this offense. 610-632-0975. Mark in Boston leads us off on the other side. Room for your phone calls as well. Middays with Marks, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Hey, everybody, it's Bill Colarulo, and coming up at 2 o'clock.
right, we're back. Middays with Marks. Jordan Mailata after the game, going back and forth with the Porters. Here is the big man.
So from the Devontae bomb to that fourth down, or third down?
Yeah,
or 4 minutes to AJ. Yeah, he was loud, demonstrative on the, well, a little bit more than he was the AJ one. The AJ one, he was just like that sharpness to his eye. Now, have you guys spoken to Jalen yet?
Yeah.
So he'll probably deny everything I just said. You guys know it. He probably will. He'll probably be like, don't listen to him. He doesn't know what he's saying, but I see it. There's a look in his eye when he's in that mode. Just like,
There does seem to be something about his career when, like, we're starting to doubt him a little bit or whatever. He just kind of comes
yeah, just kind of comes in. I tell you, it's the look in his eye.
How often does he get that?
Oh, shit. Ask him. I said, hey, how often do you, like, Jordan says it's a look that you have. It's like a focus. It's
a focus. It's the confidence. He was smiling, felt good yesterday. What gets him in it? Is it just him playing? Like, was that first drive that got him going and the touchdown throw? Is that what kind of broke the ice and got him feeling good? Did he come into it because him and AJ had a good week and they talked and he felt better about stuff? Or is he just sometimes, listen, I come in here to do this show, and if I have a bad show the day before, it can affect me the next day. If I get bad feedback, if I get an email or if someone tells you suck and you see it on social media and you're like, wow, like the show really did suck yesterday, you get in your own head. So I don't know. Jalen's not an easy read. I don't get a great read on what makes him tick sometimes. I know that he's the ultimate winner as far as being a quarterback. He's proven that. But when you see him confident, how does he get there? Is it just through making a good throw and that gets him going with confidence? And sometimes that's all it is. I leave here and I come in the next day with a good show. I'm coming in here, I'm yapping, I'm talking to everybody. I'm not as tight, right? Like the loose Jalen Hurts that isn't worried about making throws. Yesterday he wasn't thinking about it. He was just confidently launching them, and he was hitting too. I don't know, Ray. I don't know exactly what makes him go.
It also could come from the reverse. Like, he failed at his own game against the Giants, if that makes sense. He tried to make the conservative play instead of going over the top to AJ, and ended up throwing the ball that cost him that game.
Yep.
Like, he maybe had the moment of, listen, screw it. I got to do what I got to do for us. Like, his whole, I'll play the standard, what.
Typically, when you play to the standard, you win.
That whole thing, like, for him, it's not just about being a coward with the football and, like, trying not to turn it over. It's about making those explosive plays. And if no one else is going to do it for you, damn it, you got to do it. Like, that's kind of, I don't know if he had maybe that mentality to him. He just seemed like something released in him. Like, you know what? We've lost back-to-back games. Instead of getting so tight about the idea of winning, let's just go out and figure it out. And, like, maybe that's kind of speaking to what you're talking about with the second half with him in the offense. Like, he had kind of the effort mentality that we saw against the Rams. It's like, I'm going to toss this thing all over the field, and if it works, it works.
All right.
Instead of like, we have to be very particular about where we go with the football. We got
so worried about turning over.
Just let it loose. You throw a good deep ball. Do it.
When he's at his best when he lets it loose. He does throw a good deep ball. And when he's not confident, he's underthrowing guys all over the place, or it's sailing out of bounds. I wonder, when we talk about Nick Sirianni and, like Nick's had success, people still question what exactly he does that obviously there's success there, but if you bottled up what Nick Sirianni does well that works for the Eagles, what is it? Maybe it's getting Jalen Hurts out of his own head and getting him to play that type of football this week, because that's what coaches can do. That's what teammates can do. That's what talk during the week can do. You get him out of his own head. I think when Jalen struggles like he does, normally AJ's not happy. Those guys don't seem like that they're on the same page, right? Like, and maybe it's a trickle down when AJ's not happy. He feels like he's on eggshells because now he's got to worry about getting him the ball. Then they're forcing him the ball. Then maybe all of the talk all week is, got to get him the ball, got to get him the ball, got to get him the ball. The game plan, they're forcing it to him. Maybe just being in unison with AJ helps him on the field.
Yeah, and maybe you buy into what this mini bye was for them. Like, they needed the weekend to reset. They needed the weekend just to look at what's gone wrong and what hasn't gone absolutely right for them all season, and that mental reset puts you in a good spot for Sunday.
All right, Mark in Boston. Mark, what's up, bud? Go ahead.
Hey guys, what's going on? Johnny Marks.
What is up?
Yeah, man, I was super happy to see Hurts play really well because if he didn't, they could have gotten ugly. I mean, it's crazy to me how I truly believe if Cam Jurgens doesn't get hurt, they're able to run the ball the whole game and it looks completely different. But how can they be one offensive lineman away from that? Like it's either we would have probably run it decently, or we're gonna lose. Like it's the two extremes. It's crazy to me. And then, the defense still can't get off the field on third down, as you saw. So every time they got the ball, you're scared. Okay.
Yep.
Are we losing the game again? We're losing the game. So it's still lopsided. Where last year, you always felt complimentary football. Every phase was at least not elite at every phase, but very good at least proficient. This season, it's just we're lucky that we are loaded at some positions where it can just defy logic when it counts because of the talent on the top end, but we have no depth. So it's one injury away from the bottom could literally fall out, and it's really scary. What do you think? I mean, you thought the defense played well yesterday? I mean, if they have a quarterback that is regular, if they have a quarterback that's decently accurate, we lose that game because they probably would have gone 3 for 5 in the red zone.
Yeah, they kicked didn't they kick 5 field goals yesterday? What NFL team in 2025 is kicking 5 field goals in a game?
Exactly. So do you think if the Vikings start I don't know, JJ McCarthy, even Dart, or just somebody regular, do you think that the Eagles would have won that game if they had a quarterback without self-inflicting?
I mean, it sure looks like that it would have been it was a close game. Hawkinson was pissed after the game that they called that they overturned that and ruled it incomplete. They had to take a field goal. I kind of agree with him. I didn't see any visual evidence that showed me anything but a touchdown. It was close. I don't know if it's ruled incomplete on the field. Was there enough there to overturn it to be a touchdown? I mean, it looked more like a catch to me than it didn't.
I'd say it looked more like an incompletion to me.
Really?
Yeah. That ball's moving. The nose of the ball hits the ground and starts moving around. To me, that's letter of the law right there.
I don't know. It looked like it ended up working out for the Eagles, but it looked like a catch to me. I mean, I'm glad that it wasn't.
And the one thing with the defense, it's an ability. It's a trait for a defense to be able to slow teams down in the red zone. The whole bend, don't break thing is a real
Is that what that was, though? Or is that Carson Wentz?
The Vikings came in really good at converting in the red zone prior to this. I feel like credit's due where credit's due on that one. Yeah, if they have a better quarterback, they're in a better spot.
Agreed.
If they have a worse defensive coordinator, the Eagles' offense probably looks better yesterday.
Agreed. You had good coordinators on both actually the offense for Minnesota as well. Their head coach is a great offensive mind, and Brian Flores is one of the top defensive coordinators in the league.
Yeah,
so is Fangio.
I just don't know. If JJ McCarthy's out there, I don't feel like that game goes.
Yeah,
much
JJ
different.
McCarthy stinks too, but I seen him perform well in the fourth quarter. The reality was that you were pretty close to losing that game yesterday. Fair. I mean, that game went down. That game went down to you needed a first down to not give the ball back to Minnesota with plenty of time to go down and score. That's what the game and you give the Eagles credit, but that's not the defense. All right, so let me ask you this: if they don't convert that 3rd and 9, and you give the ball back to the Vikings.
Oh, I already had the whole Carson's going to lead the game-winning drive thing. This is going to be.
Are they getting a stop?
Incredible. No, I was planning the show sheet for. Oh my God, I can't believe Carson went and beat him.
I think they get a stop, but only because it's Wentz. They moved the ball yesterday.
Yeah, they did.
They just couldn't. Once you get in the red zone, they couldn't do anything.
Yeah, well, you need more pressure on him. You need a second corner. You need if the Eagles had a second corner, that game's like. If the Eagles had more, that's. I can't really go with the what if with their offense because they stopped their offense. And I think that's why maybe I'm more impressed with the Eagles' offense today than a lot of people because they were going up against a really good defensive coordinator that I thought was just going to pants that offense. When they only had 14 points at halftime, my thought wasn't, oh, good, a win. My thought was, oh, God, they haven't been able to adjust all season long. and they only put up 14 points, 7 of them on offense against Brian Flores. What are they going to have in this second half for us?
All right, and you wanted to see Wentz crash and burn. You wanted to see 10
Correct.
sacks, 5 interceptions yesterday.
Yes.
You enjoy watching Carson fail.
Yes.
You're that guy. All right, well, he spoke after the game about his mistakes. We'll have that for you. We also have some good text on the text board regarding Jalen Hurts. That's all coming up. Middays with Marks, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
Back in the win column, I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update. The Eagles beat the Vikings 28-22 yesterday. Jalen Hurts, 326 yards through the air, 3 touchdowns, 2 of them to A.J. Brown, another one to Devontae Smith, who had a career day, 9 catches, 183 yards. For Carson Wentz, it was a pair of interceptions, including a pick 6 to Jalen Hunt. Jalen Hurts, after the game, speaking about being back in the win column.
We're not losers anymore because that's all I could think about. That's all I could think about throughout these last 2 weeks. You know, having opportunities to finish the game, to finish the fourth quarter. I really think this is the first time we've finished the fourth quarter and it finished in the second half.
And in spite of that, 5-2 Giants up next for the Birds. They're trying to get revenge for the loss on Thursday night last week. Flyers won over the weekend, 2-1 over the Wild to host the Kraken tonight at 7 o'clock. We'll have it for you live right here on The Fanatic. This update is brought to you by the Positive Coaching Alliance. Questions about youth or high school sports? Positive Coaching Alliance can help. PCA, a national nonprofit organization, develops better athletes and better people through youth and high school sports. Info at positivecoach.org. I'm Ray Dunn on your home for the Sixers, Flyers, and Union. 97.5 The Fanatic, 97.5thefanatic.com.
All right, we're back. It is Middays with Marks. Next segment, I need some, we'll do a couple of different things, clean up some things. But I had an incident happen over the weekend that I need validation that I'm right and others are wrong.
Oh, boy.
Yep, that's coming up next segment. You're listening to 97.5 The Fanatic, WPEN, and WPEN HD1 Burlington, Philadelphia, a Beasley Media Group station broadcasting live from the Comcast Business Studio, powering possibilities. And this is a Football Monday brought to you by the local Bryant Home Comfort Team. Visit nopaybryant.com to keep your HVAC in the starting lineup. All right, Carson Wentz, he had the pick six, which was, I mean, really, he was trying to get rid of the ball. He thought he had a receiver over the middle. Really, it could have been intercepted by multiple players by the Eagles. Jalen Carter was right in his grill. He took a shot, pick six, and then he just threw in a double coverage on the Makuba interception. It was a dumb throw. Here's Carson Wentz after the game.
Obviously, the 2 turnovers, that's always second one. That was just dumb, trying to make a play, and instead of setting up and threw it off my back foot. Not a wise decision there. Obviously, the first one leading to 7 points for the other team. That's never fun either. But a couple in the red zone, a couple chances there that I'm trying to think back early. I think I dirted a ball in the flat to Jordan. That was just a bad one. But, yeah, there's a couple. But, again, they made some good plays too. They made some good plays, and got to give your credit when it's due.
There he is. Carson Wentz, 26 of 42, 2 interceptions, no touchdowns, 313 yards, though. They did move the football, but he just couldn't close it. Couldn't close it.
Oh.
I know that you're feeling bad for him after the game. You were happy with an Eagles win, but you felt bad because Carson.
I know. It's just so heartbreaking. The guy was just a class act all around. Hey, man, you know what? In retrospect, hey, thank you. I appreciate what you did for us, putting us in that situation, put us in that bind. Make us reset everything. Bring in a new coach. Find a new franchise quarterback. Appreciate you.
Well, I saw a number, and I thought we were past doing this, but I saw a number of I think even Crossing Broad wrote about it, that, the Eagles don't make it to the Super Bowl without Carson Wentz in 2017. I mean, can't we just all accept that that's the truth? Carson was playing great. We don't need to bring it up every time. Right? As fans, we should realize that Carson Wentz was an important piece of the Eagles winning a Super Bowl. If Carson Wentz is in the Super Bowl, they don't win the game. Sorry, they don't. He's not. You needed a backup quarterback like Nick Foles that was going to go toe-to-toe with Tom Brady.
Let's make some noise. Come on.
You think Carson Wentz in the biggest game of his life was going to sit there and go toe-to-toe with Tom Brady? He had a lot of success in the regular season that year with no pressure on him or anything like that. Just going out there. They played a poor schedule. He played great. But let's not act like that it was a shoo-in that if he's the quarterback for the entire season, they win the Super Bowl. So I don't believe they are.
Who knows? We'll never know. We'll know that Foles got it done. I just say, watching Wentz yesterday, I got a buddy who's a Vikings fan that's just over the Wentz experience already. And I was like, that's a fast track.
I bet.
It took me years to get where you're at. Me, yesterday, I was in all my glory yesterday. 326 and 3 touchdowns for Hurts. Meanwhile, I'm watching Wentz throw it to an edge rusher. Meanwhile, I'm watching Wentz throw it in double coverage. He's calling it a dumb play after the game. I'm like leaning back. You would talk about Dave Dombrowski being leaned back on the chair. I was leaning back yesterday in the recliner what a thing of beauty. What a thing of beauty from Carson. Thank you for the gift.
Did you take a sip of lemonade after the second interception?
Oh, I should have poured something strong and just savored the entire day. It was truly great. It's exactly what we said all week. Was like, yeah, this team right now is struggling, but Carson Wentz is probably the best medicine for that because it's an opportunistic defense going up against the guy that's going to give you opportunities.
So I picked the Eagles to cover, and I even said that I'd probably pick the Vikings if Carson Wentz wasn't starting because he'll give it up a couple times, and it's exactly what happened.
I probably still want to pick the Vikings. It's just made for better content that it was Carson. I was rooting, like, when JJ went down, I was like, you take your time. You take your time.
I can't believe he's still out.
Weird.
Yeah. It's been a long time. Yeah, he started 4 games, Carson.
Yeah.
Eagles 2020, Colts 2021, Washington 2022, Rams 2023, Kansas City 2024, Minnesota 2025. Where is he next year?
Jets 2026.
I could say it.
Pittsburgh.
But see, the thing is, I don't take great joy over it. I just want him to go away so I don't have to listen to people like you take great joy and then have the other people say, well, you know, they don't win the Super Bowl without Carson Wentz. I know that. Can we just stop? We know it's part of it. We know that. I don't need to read another article about it or be told like it's the first time I'm hearing it. You know, if Carson Wentz would have been the MVP. No, he would have. Carson Wentz would have been the MVP if he didn't get hurt. He threw the touchdown on a broken leg. Yes, I'm or torn ACL, whatever. I'm aware of all the factors with Carson Wentz in 2017. I don't want to hear it anymore.
We're 2 years away, man. 10-year anniversary. Who shows, who doesn't. That's why he's staying in the league.
So he doesn't have to go?
Yeah, that's exactly it. He needs an excuse. It's the party you don't want to be invited to. It's that person that you don't like that you're like, please, please, God, don't let them invite me to the party. Then you get invited. Now you got to find an excuse to get out of it.
You want him to go and then announce Nick Foles first, and then Carson Wentz right after.
Wentz first, then Foles.
Well, only if you know that Foles is coming out next. Right?
Well, yeah, I guess. I just want to make sure we go Wentz, then Foles.
Because you wouldn't applaud him.
I give him, yeah, hey, man. You know, we don't win the Super Bowl without Carson Wentz.
It's the first time I'm hearing that.
Okay. I don't know if you heard. They were 11-2. He actually helped you get the top seed.
But did he play well in those 11 games?
Oh, he did. If he doesn't get hurt.
Not an MVP level.
Actually, if he doesn't get hurt, there's a chance. There's a real good chance he was going to win the MVP that season.
Yeah, I heard that before. 3,296 yards, 33 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. I think we do forget how special he was with a lot of those plays. I was watching some compilation videos from that year on Sunday on the Gram. Damn, he made some plays, man.
Oh, he did.
The problem was you even saw it yesterday. He's so damn big, and he's athletic. Not as athletic now, obviously, but he's taken some shots in his career, man.
Oh yeah,
he was hurting yesterday. He took some big shots yesterday as well.
Okay.
So,
oh well,
there you go. There, Carson Wentz, everybody. Carson Wentz. Greg in Bethlehem. Greg, go ahead. How are you, buddy?
Gentlemen, good afternoon. How are you?
Greg, how are you, buddy?
Good, good. You were talking about Jalen Hurts, and what I saw yesterday was a quarterback that was fed up with the crap that they were calling from the sideline and was happy to have a broken play where he could make something happen. You know, he just seemed like, you know, he was waiting to break out, and they gave him the opportunity because he got flushed, and, you know, he made things happen. The impression I get with him is he's not happy with Patullo and the bland nature of the offense, and was happy to have the opportunity to break out of the shell.
Yeah, Greg, I appreciate it. What was the game where after the game he had said, we got to stop playing to lose and play to win? Was it the Rams? Was it not the Rams game, was it? Yeah, because they came back in the fourth quarter.
Because they were saying at the beginning they're playing
like crap.
Yeah.
And then it was like, because they were doing the same thing where it's like, okay, let's get to 3rd and 3, and then we'll tush push to get it to 4th and 1, then we'll tush push again. And it wasn't working for the first time in the season. So second half, and Jalen, this is really when Jalen's at his best, when he didn't have to think about running the offense, when he just goes out there and he plays. And that's what you saw yesterday in the second half. He's just out there making plays, man.
And it's a double-edged sword of this whole thing, because part of what makes Hurts difficult to game plan for is part of what makes him great yesterday.
The off-schedule stuff.
Yeah, the off-schedule stuff, when he's got that going, he is as good as what you saw yesterday. And Patullo is in kind of a no-win situation there, because he'll get no credit for the off-schedule stuff, because the off-schedule stuff isn't his, he can't game plan for that. That's Hurts being Hurts. But that's also where Hurts is at his best, when Hurts is just being Hurts. So maybe it's why I don't come down as harsh today with the offense didn't find answers, because the answers were, hey, one, you went and played better than what you did against the Giants.
Plays, yeah.
Like that. The Giants game was the first one where I looked squarely at him and said, hey, man, that's on you. Yesterday is probably, I'm coming off a little bit softer on Patullo, just because I think part of what they did yesterday was,
played a little freely in the second half.
Get lost in it, Hurts. Go win yourself a game.
Well, he stopped trying to run the ball, that's for sure.
Well, yeah, that helps.
18 for 44 for Saquon, but when he's getting met, pretty much anytime he touches the ball, he has very few options of where to go or what to do. So, which may not get better. We'll look for some news on Cam Jurgens. Coming up, 610-632-0975. We have phone calls. Also, so the situation happened over the weekend. I know that I'm right, and even if you tell me I'm not right, I'm still going to believe I'm right. But I need some reassurance that I am right. Make sense?
I think I could provide that.
You can. I agree. All right, that's next. Middays with Marks, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Monday, October 20th, the Eagles.
Back it is Middays with Marks. Feedback is the final segment of the program. 975 feedback at 975thefanatic.com. Mike the Boner, I believe, has already emailed multiple times. Thank you, Mike. You can also text 610-632-0975. That's our regular text line. But if you put feedback in your name and location, we'll use that. Our our AI, artificial intelligence-driven voice, will read the best ones at the last segment of the program, okay? So get in with that. And this would be something good for feedback, although we're late in the show. So, Ray, you grew up and your parents still live right in my neighborhood almost. You're down a couple minutes, but
Yeah, not too far.
so I'm at a Wawa on Saturday morning, and my daughter has she cheers for Spring 4, and they have a third grade football game. She's cheering, and my daughter has dance. So I need to get gas. So I'm not at the Oaks Wawa on Egypt Road. I'm on the 29 Wawa. So you know where we're talking about, on Route 29. So I pull into the parking lot, and there's 2 cones that are already taking out 2 of the pumps. All right? So I'm already minus 2 pumps, and there's no room. So I pull into a spot just based on the angle that I was going, and now I'm like kind of waiting behind a car, and the door's shut, and they're not even pumping gas, but the door's shut. So I'm like, all right. Now I'm waiting, and I'm seeing other cars that are coming and going. And because of how I'm parked, it's difficult for me to be like, F this. Let me back out and fly over there. It's not happening. So now I'm pot committed to waiting. Dude, I swear to God, it was like 7 or 8 minutes. This guy comes out with a bag of food and gets into his car. And, I kind of had to say something. I was like, yo. It's like, yeah. And I'm like, and he's like looking at me like dumbfounded. Like, I'm trying to pump gas. And he's like, oh, sorry. And he got in and he started the car and he left. He had already pumped the gas and left his car parked. Now, it's one thing if you want to be illegal and you want to start the pump and then go inside, it's illegal. You shouldn't do that. But if you want to go in and do your order and then come back out and then go park, first of all, what you should do is you should just go park. So my wife had said, you don't say, she wasn't with me. She's like, why would you say something to him? Because this has happened before at the same Wawa with a bunch of landscapers. Landscapers blocked the air for the tires. So I couldn't get in and do it. And then they came out with their lunch. Like, what are you guys doing? Like, huh? Like, what are you guys doing? Like, I need to get air in my tires. And the guy starts yelling at me and cursing at me. So, do you agree with me that you need to keep your food and beverage transaction, you need to go move your car into a spot? You can't be leaving it parked after you pump your gas and going in. All right, if you want to get something quick to drink, whatever, but you come out with a bag. In other words, he ordered and was waiting for the food to get made.
Yeah.
And then came back out.
That's wrong. You can't do that. You can't use the gas pump as an extra parking spot. You got to go find a parking spot,
Stop
use
being
a
lazy.
little bit of gas, go around the corner, park, go in and get your food. It's total violation.
So
you are absolutely in the right on this one.
Now, should I have said something?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you're really going to change that guy's behavior. So, I mean, yeah, you could say something if it makes you feel better.
It made me feel better.
Yeah, well, if it made you feel better, that's all that you should.
I didn't curse at him or whatever. I was just like, come on, dude, really? Like, I don't know. I thought maybe it was 1980 where you went in and paid first with cash and then you came out and pumped the gas. If he would have came out and pumped gas, I wouldn't have said anything.
Right.
But when I see him coming out and he's making a beeline for the car, and I'm like, this dude has a bag full of food.
Oh, those people are the worst.
Like, come on, man. And if it's during if it's 2:00 in the afternoon and there's nobody at the pumps, like, all right, like maybe, like the situation dictates whether or not I'm going to get pissed about it. But every pump was taken when I came in, and there was people waiting at other pumps. You have to realize the situation that you're in. You don't walk inside when people are waiting to get at these pumps.
So if I'm playing the other side on this one, what's the rest of the parking lot look like?
Every pump was taken, and there were cars that were competing for other pumps. I wasn't there when he didn't go inside as I pulled up. I pulled up and he was already not there.
I'm not talking about the gas, like the gas pump situation. I'm talking about the parking lot surrounding Wawa. How many parking spots were available?
Oh, there's always plenty of parking in that Wawa. There's parking.
All right. Well, in that case, you're in the wrong.
You can find a parking spot.
He's in the wrong. Yeah.
Yeah, and guess what? If there's no parking spots, tough. You can go up in the other complex. There's other parking spots if you want to walk up there. No, he's being lazy. And he says, I'm done pumping my gas. I have no self-awareness. I'm going over and I'm going to order my food.
Yeah, but if you're on the other side of this, are you really going to go from the Wawa parking lot, drive to another complex, park, and walk back down to Wawa?
It's not another complex. It's literally it's just it's another. There's what is it? There's a lab place where you get your labs. There's a dermatologist. It's not even a walk. You're just going up this little ramp, and then you're right there. You can still easily walk down. Whenever I get my labs, I'll walk down to the Wawa without moving my car. It's not a far
so I know
walk.
which one I know exactly what Wawa you're talking about right now. Yeah, there's plenty of parking there. Yeah,
There's plenty of parking.
Yeah, that person's.
And the landscapers, and this was where it unfortunately my daughter and my wife were in the car when I said something, but I was pissed. These guys, there's 4 of them walked out with bagfuls of hoagies. This was at lunchtime. And the problem is
you got to be able to park. They're parked to that long side where they're taking up multiple spots because there's nowhere to park.
There's nowhere to park.
Yeah.
So that's like kind of Wawa's fault. But also he can't park in front of the like I literally sat there for 10 minutes because it was one of these cold days, the first cold day of the year. If you don't have fully inflated tires, that the light comes on in your car. So like I'm trying to make sure that before I go on the highway, I was trying to make sure I got air in my tires. And these landscapers are jolly old landscapers coming out with bagfuls of Wawa and jugs of iced tea. And I'm like, yo, are you kidding me? What, you think I got all day to wait for you guys to order lunch? Like, listen, go to another Wawa. I got time for this. Blocking the air pump? But yeah, like you said, there's nowhere else to park.
Yeah, on that one, this might be a little bit bold. I don't care about the air in my tires.
But I don't know. Going on the highway with low air in the tires, I had to do it. And this was a year or two ago. But anyway.
Yeah, my old roommate and I got this whole big thing because he was like, your tire looks a little deflated. He's like, we shouldn't drive with your car to Baltimore. I was like, we're absolutely just going to drive my car to Baltimore. Makes no sense for us not to. The tire is fine.
Well, you're an idiot.
No, the tire was fine.
I have my baby in my car and my wife.
The tire is going to be fine.
So it's not.
Air pressure is just a myth.
My brother-in-law, Adam, who lives right by that Wawa, says, I see it all the time at that Wawa. If you're not fueling, park in a spot and go in. I said something to people before, too. Good on you. See that? I'm getting that's what you should have done.
Right. You're in the right about this. I'm validating your feelings.
All right.
The air pressure thing, the tire thing, yeah, whatever. Come on. This is big air trying to get us to fill up our tires.
No. You have to be safe.
Yeah.
And by the way,
when was the last time I filled up my tire with air?
Look at your car.
Yeah, exactly.
Might as well be an '88 Buick.
It pretty much is.
And you live in the city, so you shouldn't upgrade.
No,
you drive that sucker in the ground.
Absolutely.
And you will.
I will. I can guarantee you. Unless you're
will.
a car dealership looking to get involved with our.
I mean, listen. After this show's on for a couple months, who knows?
Hey,
who knows what's going on? Here's one more thing, and then we'll move on. Because my buddy Vince said he wanted Wawa bathroom talk today. Because the Wawa bathrooms are they a sponsor? I love Wawa.
Wawa's great. Big fan of Wawa.
Love Wawa.
Definitely doing something right now about turkey gobbler on our airwaves.
Yeah, no, I love Wawa.
Yes, go get your turkey gobbler. They're back.
I would say their restrooms for the most part are like they're passable. They're passable. All right, not my favorite place when I have to go to the bathroom, which is almost always to go in the Wawa bathroom. But I hate the bathrooms here, and I know I've been going up to the 6th floor even just to go number 1 because I'm uncomfortable with the situations of the bathroom down here. But have you noticed that people pick their boogers and flick them on the walls? This is everywhere you go. At my old job, there was bloody boogers on the wall.
Oh,
if you're eating lunch, sorry. Yeah, they're still in there. This was the talking point on when I worked here before. The 4th floor stall, which is a Twitter page. You know that?
I was just made aware of it recently. I saw them tweeting at you. And I was tagged in the tweet, and I was like, oh, I didn't know that existed.
Because there used to be a lot of things going on at the 4th floor stall. I need to go to the 5th or 6th floor now. But, yeah, there's boogers are still there. I don't know if they've been there for 10 years. People, for whatever reason, and you wait till it gets colder, and people that get the bloody boogers, they flick the boogers on the wall in the public bathrooms. Unacceptable. A lot going on in those bathrooms here at One Ballot Plaza. 610-632-0975. Your phone calls. We have a couple of the Whack Packers. Angry Al and Herb are on the line. Andy from Lambertville, your phone calls. An interesting observation from Zach Berman on Jalen Hurts. Remember earlier we asked, what makes him tick? Like, what made him confident yesterday? But sometimes you look at him and you're like, damn, what the hell's wrong with him? Zach has an interesting theory on it, and I think he's dead on. We'll share that coming up next. Middays with Marks, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
Back in the win column, I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update. The Eagles won 28-22 over the Vikings on Sunday. Jalen Hurts, 326 yards through the air, 3 touchdowns. Devontae Smith, 9 catches, 183 yards, one of those touchdowns. A.J. Brown with the other 2 passing touchdowns from Hurts. Wentz threw 2 interceptions, including a pick 6 to Jalen Hunt. Jalen Hurts, after the game, talking about getting back in the win column.
We're not losers anymore, because that's all I could think about. That's all I could think about throughout these last 2 weeks. Having opportunities to finish the game, to finish the fourth quarter. I really think this is the first time we've finished the fourth quarter and finished in the second half.
And in spite of that, still 5-2 on the season. Giants up next weekend. Flyers won over the weekend over the Wild. Now host the Kraken tonight at 7 o'clock. We'll have it for you live right here on the Fanatic. This updates brought to you by Macy's Backstage. Macy's Backstage is a whole department inside your Macy's store where you can find the looks, all for under $30 with new arrivals every day. You never know what you'll find. Find location, Macy'sBackstage.com. I'm Ray down on your home with the Sixers, Flyers, and Union. 97.5 The Fanatic, 97.5thefanatic.com.
All right, our Middays with Marks, our buddy Mike Gill. Is he still doing stuff on the weekends, or is that over for football season?
He hasn't been up here in a minute.
Love Mike Gill. He said he wished he knew about the bathroom situation before. There you go.
Oh, sorry about that, Mike.
Well, when you're here on the weekends, it's not really. There's nobody else that's really here. And the bloody boogers, you don't have to, unless you're touching the wall in front of you. You don't have to do anything with it. Well, I'm not everybody that says that to me. Like, I'm not the one putting them on the wall. So be mad at them, not me, for bringing it up. But just make sure next time you go in the bathroom, especially that right urinal.
Well, we had this conversation. I'm a 5th floor guy.
But I can't do that. I can't do that every break. Right? If I have to go number 1, I'm going to the 3rd floor. If I walk in and there's multiple people dumping, I'm leaving. Or even one person, I'm out. I'll run up to the 4th floor.
No, we're on the 4th floor.
Oh, the 5th floor.
Yeah, I'm a fifth floor guy.
Oh no, I guess because we were once on the 3rd floor. You don't know this. We used to be on the 3rd floor, and then we were on the
I've always been a 4th floor.
Yeah, I've been on both. So that's why I get. And Mike Gill as well is anti-public bathroom. He doesn't like the public bathroom. I mean, I don't like congregating in the public bathroom and having conversations when you're going number 2.
The person that's pro public bathroom, I have a lot of questions for.
Well, I know the good public bathrooms just because, like I always go to a Starbucks because I know I'm going to get a clean bathroom and a controlled environment.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Yeah, again, though, the person that's like, you know what, I want to use a public bathroom is someone that I probably actually don't want to meet.
It's Herb. Herb from Northeast Phillies probably pro.
Probably.
Public bathroom. All right. Zach Berman says the following. This really is genius, and I love it. He says, in public, Hurts downplays narratives about facing opposing quarterbacks, but he has wins over teams quarterbacked by Pat Mahomes, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow. And this might be a coincidence, or maybe it's not. 2 of the best games of this season were played when Carson Wentz was on. 2 of his best games he's ever played came when Carson Wentz was starting on the other side. So that game against Washington, however many years ago. So, like Carson Wentz in itself, if you look at it, it's like, well, that's not going up against Burrow or Mahomes or one of the elite quarterbacks. But you could consider it being a big deal considering the history when Carson Wentz being here. That's just not a regular quarterback you're going into. And when you look at how he's played against Pat Mahomes in 2 Super Bowls, remember the Buffalo game in 2023 where he went toe-to-toe with Josh Allen and they won?
Mm-hmm.
He rises the occasion. Instead of beating up on the bad quarterbacks or when you're facing a team with the bad quarterback, he gets up for the teams that have the great quarterbacks, or in this particular situation, Carson Wentz, because it's a big thing personally to him. He's got the eye of the tiger.
Which is just odd. Like, I feel like most of the quarterbacks that you would go throughout history, we ask the question of, are they going to rise to the moment? It's almost like, is he going to shrink to this 1 o'clock game on a Sunday that no one really cares about?
He's the anti-Donovan McNabb. Donovan used to beat up, and he also had big wins, too. I don't want to sound like this and I'm totally dissing Donovan, but I think everybody would agree when the lights were shining the brightest on Donovan, he came up the smallest.
Yeah, thrown up in the Super Bowl.
Well, also, you had the NFC Championship games.
Yeah.
Sorry, you went to 1 Super Bowl. You were in many NFC Championships games. Yeah, throwing up in the Super Bowl. That's the anti-Hurts. Hurts goes up against Pat Mahomes and beats him with his arm. And the first day, he outplayed him in the first game, too. So it's not like that. This is fluky.
And Hurts goes on a streaming service on Thursday night while the Phillies are playing a postseason game and throws up a clunker.
Right. Yep.
It's like, he's always like, if I'm going to play a bad game, I'll play it tonight. Like,
right. He gets tight for the lesser games.
So, the Giants are on the other side. They haven't done anything in a decade. Yeah, sure.
Let me play like crap.
Yeah. Al Michaels said that we weren't entertaining. Let me show him something that's not entertaining.
So here's what they need to do. And Tom Brady was notoriously great at this. You need to manufacture that everybody's against them, or this is like this big test. So going along with that, for people that the knee-jerk reaction for the Giants game next week is, oh, they're going to kick their ass. Maybe this is the game Jalen Hurts needs to come out, because now it's like, they got us last time? Now I got him this time. And he goes out there and he plays like he did. He plays loose. He plays fluid. He's throwing the ball. He's not worried about anything else. Because that's when Jalen's at his best, when he's out there and he's just flinging it and dinging. Let's go to Herb. Herb from Northeast Philly. So I don't know if you know this. So Herb somehow got a hold of my friend Vince's number.
What?
So Vince knows somebody at the Wells Fargo Center that works with Herb. So Herb now has Vince's number, but Vince he even messaged me today. Today he said Herb calls him all the time. Herb, you know my buddy Vince?
Yeah. Well, Frank, the guy Frank that's security over here, he's friends with Vince. So I talked to Vince last week.
You and Vince are buddies, he tells me.
He's supposed to hook me up with an Eagles hat. He wants to take a picture with me up there, King of Prussia.
Because he works at Lids.
He works, yeah.
The
They got
manager at
2
Lids.
stores over there.
Yep. What's up, Herb?
What's going on, Johnny? All right,
Hey,
so I want to see big time this week against the Giants. I want 40 plus points. But my main call today is it looks like the Phillies are going to be in the sweepstakes to get that Tariq Skubal. So
Says who?
Says that's what it's reporting under Phillies news. Just punch it up. It was this morning.
No, I know, but I mean, just because
they want to give away, they're going to give away Luzardo, Painter, and Crawford. And I say, okay, and I'll tell you what, I'll make the deal even sweeter. I'll give you Castellanos, you give me Vierlin back, the left fielder, center fielder. You give me, he's a right-handed bat, he's pretty good. He got better when they Phillies traded him to Detroit for what's his name, Soto or something.
Yeah.
So 4 for 1, take that deal, and I'll throw in $10 million for Castellanos' salary. So
All right. So
they're not going to be able. Skubal is not going to be able to sign. Detroit is not going to be able to sign him unless they make some kind of deal where it's like deferred money, because like the way their Dodgers are doing with Ohtani. There's no way the guy's a 40 to $45 million pitcher, dude.
Agreed.
Okay?
Agreed. So my question would be, why would they trade him? And I get it. They're having contract negotiations, and Detroit doesn't want to keep a future Hall of Famer, then, yeah, trade him. That sounds like a great idea. Or pay him $50 million, and he can win Cy Youngs. I don't know. I mean, like, should the Phillies be in on Skubal?
Sure.
Sure, yeah. Just add another $50 million to the payroll. Sure.
Yeah.
Everybody's going to be, if they're really going to trade him, everybody's going to be interested because he's that good.
Right. I would be interested in this. I don't know what exactly you're going to be able to do to make this happen. I doubt you're reaching into your farm system deep enough to beat another franchise that wants him.
If you were willing to trade Painter and Aiden Miller and all these other guys, yeah, they may make the trade. But then you got to pay him on top of it. That's the thing.
And you also need production.
But you also need, we talked about
every single day.
We talked about the lineup earlier. You can have all the great starting pitching you want. Starting pitching was fine. This offseason was good.
Right. 2 ERA. Just so happened you ran into a pitching staff that was pitching like Paul Skeens, and you helped them out.
Yeah, and you look at your outfield.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, you got to bring Schwarber back. You get a Skubal. I don't know. I mean, I hear you. But if he becomes available, there's going to be everybody that's willing to go out there and get him. It's a tough. Regardless of what every fan wants the Phillies to do, they're not going to spend Los Angeles Dodgers money. They're spending plenty of money out there. All right, we'll finish up Angry Al Andy. We'll get your phone call, 610-632-0975. Feedback is next right here. Middays with Marks, 97.5 The Fanatic.
John Kincade, Andrew Salciunas, and Connor Thomas.
Thought-provoking.
with Ricky Bowe and Bill Colarulo. Coming up next, Unfiltered. Silvana back there. She's asking me if I had, do I sound like I'm sick or I have laryngitis or it's coming?
Oh, it doesn't sound that way.
I woke up this morning not feeling well.
Oh.
I took, well, yeah, I have 3 kids, so everybody's constantly sick.
Fair.
But I had, so I took Advil cold and sinus. And don't get me wrong, I was fine. But I definitely have fatigue in the throat. I'm feeling it after this.
Fatigued in the throat?
Yes. There you go. Insert line right there. But I do feel okay. So I didn't know if it was coming off over the mic like I sounded sick. She had asked me, "Are you sick?" And I'm like, "Well, yeah, kind of."
No, I didn't get the impression you were sick. I'm sorry it took me 4 hours to ask you if you were 5 hours.
She just might have a unique sickness ear.
She gets sick pretty often, so
Is that what it is?
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Okay. All right, that makes sense. We'll finish up on the phones. I'll give you. Do you like the doubleheader Monday Night Football games?
No, not a ton. I'll be honest with you. I'd rather my Sunday slate be a little stockier than trying to fit in two.
Got a good game tonight. Tampa Lions and then Seahawks and Texans, which I will probably not see the end of.
No, I won't see the end of it.
But I did. It's a good game. Lions and Bucks. You can say the 2 best teams in the NFC. That's the first one. Yeah?
Yeah.
Not
so far?
2 best?
So far, yeah. So far.
It is a weird season because there's not really the Chiefs now, they shut out the Raiders yesterday, so that's why you should never sleep on the Chiefs. But, like, who are the good teams in the NFL this year? The Lions, I feel like, from the beginning of the season until now, I still think they're the best team in the NFC. The Bucks are really good. I still don't buy them as a Super Bowl team. I think they're peaking early. And then Washington, like, this will show you. You know how hard it is to win in the NFL year to year? All the Commanders fans that were out there celebrating a division title this year and we're beating the Eagles, okay. See what happens when the league adjusts to your quarterback and he can't stay healthy because he's running around out there? He's got a hammy issue. It doesn't look like it's going to be he's back next week.
Nope.
So now people are calling him that. Now that his own fan base is bringing up RG3 comparisons. His mom's tweeting out, don't say that. Don't put that out there. It's hard to win every year.
Is his mom a little too in the public eye for everyone?
Yeah, you would never want your mom making headlines for using Twitter to defend the son.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't want it. If it was me, nobody in my family is publicly saying anything on social media.
Yeah.
At all.
Yeah.
And that's the way it's going to work. So, and maybe Nick Castellanos wanted his wife and mom to go out on social media and complain. I don't know.
I wasn't going to make the comparison. You did. Thank you.
Well, I mean, she wouldn't have been, if it was my wife, she wouldn't have been tweeting out anything. She wouldn't be fighting with people on Twitter or saying, I'm defending my husband. Nope, stay off. Don't even look. Because you're going to find negative things.
Oh, if you look for negativity, you'll find it.
Easy. That's why you don't look. All right, every day at this time, final segment of the show, we do feedback.
Now, it's time for feedback.
How about filling us in?
I can't lie! Email us at 975feedback at 975thefanatic.com.
Say it! Let me tell you something!
Or text us at 610-632-0975.
Let me tell you something else, man.
It's feedback on Middays with Marks.
All right, we got...
All right, let's get it started here. First one for you.
John looks like he's about to camp out in front of Best Buy on Black Friday for stereo equipment MBD from the YouTube chat.
You'll find MBD's probably the best with the one-liners.
Is he?
YouTube chat.
Well, thank you for noticing. I am wearing a flannel from Flag and Anthem. It's very cozy. It was a little chilly this morning. I had another shirt on, but it was semi-wrinkled, and I couldn't find my steamer. So I quickly, on the fly, pivoted to a nice, crisp flannel shirt.
Yeah, it's a nice flannel. I'm a fan of flannel. I think that's fine.
Yeah.
The rose shirt last week, I was on board with the ripping. You know, this one, not so much.
Yeah, no,
I'm fine with the flannel.
I like the attention about my clothing, so keep it up. Keep it up. What's next?
Yesterday is proof that Nick Sirianni is a damn genius. I'll tell you why coming up at 2. Bill in South Jersey.
Is he still as supportive of Nick Sirianni this year?
That's blood right there.
Sirianni love?
That's his cousin. I mean, you don't turn against the family.
I'm Italian.
That's love right there for him. I'm Italian too. You wouldn't know it, but I'm Italian.
No, I would not know it.
No. 50%.
No, you're not.
Yeah.
On your mother's side?
Yep.
Is that right?
Mom's 100%.
And dad is
Irish,
Mutt.
English.
Yeah.
The whole run.
I'm half Mutt. And I found out after my grandmother died that my great-grandmother, when she came over, changed her last name. Her last name was Valvano. And she had told everybody she was German, like German mix. So she was 100% Italian, so I'm 12.5% Italian. I thought I had none up until a couple years ago.
I have 50%, and everyone would think I have none.
Yeah.
All right,
what's that?
Cousin Mike in Savannah. BG will only be good for 25 to 35 plays if he does come back. It looks like Coop was moving to outside corner in the base defense yesterday. Backup center/guard needs to be addressed. Although lining up under center, more like I suggested 3 weeks ago, worked very well yesterday. Nolan Smith will also be coming back soon.
Yeah, I don't know why they don't line up under center. I guess nobody really does anymore, but they should have went back to it. But they did it because of desperation, because their center can't snap the ball as shotgun. That's a problem. Brandon Graham's not going to be able to play 25 plays, certainly not right away. I have to look at it what his snap counts were last year, but just considering that it's a numbers game right now you might have 3 healthy edge rushers, and then you have to put Jahad Campbell in there to be your 4th. Nolan Smith comes back 5, and then you would have BG as your 6th. Yeah, so you need bodies. Howie Roseman's going to have to make some type of a depth move at the trade deadline to get an end.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's going to happen.
Can't just be Brandon Graham.
No, it can't be Brandon. All right, what's next?
How about that loss? Tough to watch Carson toss the pigskin to the other team. Really hate to see it. Alshon in Philly.
Oh, the good old days.
He was active. Multiple tweets yesterday during that Eagles game.
Is that right?
Yeah.
I wouldn't even know
just
how to find
celebrating the Eagles. Alshon was just celebrating the Eagles.
Was he?
Yeah. Just interesting for a day where he decided to chime in with 2 Eagles tweets.
So he's normally not watching with great anticipation?
He tweeted, I think, for the opener. I don't think he's tweeted Birds during a Birds game since. Just something I'm noticing.
One of the great all-time moments when they were forced to go to the Sixers game together and they looked like they were a divorcing couple that did not want to be there at the family party.
Yep.
But yet, Eagles fans told me, everything's fine. Stop making stuff up. They're getting along. You, Mita, you're making stuff up. There's nothing wrong with them. Look, they went to a Sixers game together. Yeah. All right, what's next?
Come on, Ray. Don't you know you have to change out the summer air for winter air? Jared from Maple Shade.
See?
Summer air, winter air?
Yeah, because big air trying to force me to put air in my tires.
Air?
Not buying it.
Buying it. Yeah, you're going to drive on a car on the highway with low airs in your tires. Yeah.
Not buying it. Not buying it. Last one for you.
Right. So long as we all live and enjoy our lunches, Marks will never have a good-looking lawn again. Unnamed landscaping service in Montgomery County.
Yep. That's why I don't use a landscaper. Actually, I need to call a landscaper because I want them to. I don't have time to do it. I need one more cut. I thought I was going to be done with my last cut. I'm not. I need one more cut.
So you don't use the landscaper?
I don't. No, I have a 0 turn.
Oh, okay.
Like a $4,000 lawnmower.
Oh. Well,
that I love.
me.
That I love using.
I didn't realize.
Yeah, I went out. Yeah, 0% financing. I didn't pay for it. Just put myself more in debt. Yeah, no, I have a 0 cut. I have a Toro 0 cut. You know why? Man, I know what I'm doing. I could be a professional landscaper if I wanted to be.
Is that why you're upset with those guys in front of the?
No, I'm upset because they were so happy leaving Wawa with a jug of iced tea and a bag of Wawa when I was waiting to put air in my tires to keep my little girl safe. Driving. That's why. Angry Al checking in. Angry Al. Hello.
Johnny Mark.
Hey, buddy.
Midday Ray.
Midday Ray.
What up?
Look, that Eagles game?
Yeah.
It was over after that turnover for a touchdown. He hurt Wentz. He hurt Wentz bad with that hit.
He sure did.
And he was no more good the rest of the game. I knew right then that game was over. But they're playing weird. It's just like, well, my buddy thinks it's the Madden curse.
With
That's
Saquon?
why, with Saquon can't get no yards and all that. He said, "Oh, you ain't got to be hurt." He's still getting cursed by the Madden curse. I don't know about that. But as long as you're winning games, you don't need to worry.
Yeah, Al, and I'm up against it. Thank you. Sorry we'll talk later this week. I think it has more to do with Cam Jurgens hasn't been good because he's banged up. Landon Dickerson has multiple injuries. He's banged up. And their defenses are looking and saying, how can we stop Saquon Barkley? Year to year in the NFL, this is what happens. All right? So it was never going to be as easy as you thought it was going to be just to run again. What's it, Ray? Do you have the out time for me?
I'm working on right now.
All right. Yeah, it was never going to be this easy this year. Even to think he was going to get 1,500 yards, that's a 500-yard drop. That was the over-under for rushing yards. Man, to get 1,500 rushing yards in the NFL is really tough. So it is like, I mean, he's not going to get 1,000 yards at this pace. He keeps getting 30 or 40 yards a game. We're crying out loud. So, all right, we got to get out. See ya.
Now.